Okay. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Sipping on rye by the riverbed. I caught 10 fish and I killed them dead. I cut 'em and gut 'em and I tossed their heads in the water to keep them cackadders fed. One, 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 two, three. One and a one and a one, two, three. Sipping on rye by the riverbed. I caught 10 fish and I killed them dead. I cut 'em and gut 'em and I tossed their heads in the water to keep them cackadders fed. Ow, ow, ow. La 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 la. Stretch your voice box. Get ready for a multi-hour interview session. Make sure you have a cold drink. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is the MGTOW Cowboy. Greetings and salutations. I come to you deep behind enemy lines this evening from Chicago, Illinois, the one of the major strongholds of gynocentrism here in North America, and indeed the world. To start off, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I guess I'll tell you two quick stories, probably more than that. But so, first story I want to tell you guys is about my real estate agent. I saw my real estate agent today. He's a nice fellow. We've become fast friends. Anyway, he calls me and he says, "Joe, what the hell is your problem, Joe? You were supposed to oh man, you were supposed to call me yesterday." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was hungover. And plus I was banging some skank." And he was like, "Oh, well, I understand. In that case, I understand." And he understood. Even though really he doesn't he even though really he can't understand. And here's why. Here's the point of this whole story. My real estate agent is 41 years old. He'll be 42 pretty soon. And he is the proverbial um he is the proverbial 40-year-old virgin. He literally is he's going to be 42. He's over 40. He lives with his parents. Um he's never moved out of his parents' house, and he has never actually had intercourse with a person of the opposite sex, which I find amazing. Anyway, so we went to lunch today, and I wanted to share his story. It's a good MGTOW moment for anyone who understands MGTOW or the red pill. So when he was, I can't remember the exact ages, but it'll be pretty close. Back when he was 22, I think, he was messing around with some cute Polish girl, and I don't know. I guess they never like had sex, but they were like messing around, and it fell apart. And somehow, some way, she ended up calling the authorities. And he has relayed to me multiple times how this all these troubles that this woman has caused for him has basically hounded him since, well, at this point going on 2 full decades. When he was 22, he was dating her, and then I don't know, for whatever reason she called it off. Okay, fine, no problem. But then she decided first to she filed a complaint at work, and then she later on went to the authorities, and she was lying. She was saying, first she went to her work. Apparently they were working together, which by the way is probably a good time to interject the idea: don't shit where you eat, because this is a major problem for men these days. Yeah, so he met. I don't know, whatever. They met at work. They started dating. They break up. she goes to whatever HR or her bosses, and she's complaining that he's stalking her. And at first, they believed him, or I guess the old bosses believed him. But then there was like some newer bosses, some higher ups that I don't know. They just didn't even want to mess with it. So guess who they fired? They fired him, right? And but that wasn't the end of the story. The story continues. She ends up, I guess she ends up like going to the police and claiming that he was stalking her. Well, this ended up coming back to him because for years, on multiple different occasions, he would try to apply to various jobs, um, law enforcement, or even just other government jobs. Like there was one instance where he was working for who was it? The what's that big government agency that I can't remember off the top of my head right now? It's just so embarrassing. Well, it doesn't matter. He had like a shiny badge with like he had a shiny like badge identification ID with like a photo ID on it and like a microchip RFID chip on it. Um, and it's the same thing. This accusation from 2 decades ago would keep popping up, and it kept getting him in trouble. And I just wanted to mention that we live in a society now where it's so dangerous now to be messing around, to be essentially to express your basic um, biological imperative, your fundamental um, drive as a man, your biological imperative to meet up with a girl, uh, you got get with a girl, join up with a girl, make a family with her, provide and protect for her. It's just dangerous, very dangerous stuff. So, and that's still my friend. He's a nice guy, but at 42, he's still living with. Oh, he's almost 42. He's so close to 42. I just say he's 42. At 42, he's still living in mommy and daddy's basement, proverbially. I mean, he has his own room, but I mean, he still lives with his mom and dad at 42 years old. At this point, I tell him you might as well just stay with your parents until they croak, which could be at any time. I'm not making light of that. I'm just saying, he should have gotten out of his parents' house. I don't know, 15 years ago. I first moved out of my parents' house when I was 23. Um, and then after graduating or after graduating university, I moved back. Um, and I lived with them for a couple years, and I moved right back out. But I don't know. I think it's good for the development of a man to move out from his parents. Anyway, I wanted to share that story with all of you. I got another quick story. It's not a good story. It's a bad story, but it's a true story. So we're telling. Um, and it sort of dovetails. It sort of comes together with the story I just told you guys. How it's important to get out of your parents' house. I very much love my parents, but I think it's a fair statement to say that my parents, they were not perfect. Frankly, I think it's fair to say that they were, in their own ways, they were dysfunctional, and they had their own idiosyncrasies. I want to tell you guys a story about I can't remember if it was my second semester or maybe third semester at university. I want to show you. I want to exemplify for you guys how dysfunctional my family was. So when I was 6, my parents divorced. My father was cheating on my mother, and he was cheating on my mother with his partner at work. My father was a Chicago police officer, and he was ripping and riding with his female partner. And once it came to light, my parents got divorced. My father did not stay single, not even a year before he got remarried. He got remarried to my stepmom, And then my stepmom proceeded to start cheating on him. My stepmom cheated on my dad multiple times with multiple different men. Um, I don't know. At this point in my life, I sort of look at both of them, and I would say my stepmom is a disgrace, and so is my father for going along with all that. But so so to give you some context, so my stepmom was, in my opinion, of course, very abusive, and so I was thrust at 6 years old when my parents got divorced. Or 1 year later, my father won custody. I moved in with my dad. Went to go live with them. I was thrust into what I would categorize as an abusive environment, or a dysfunctional environment at best. So anyway, fast forward, I don't know, 10 years, and I'm in university. I remember I went to a house party and I met this girl. She was a beautiful girl. Um, she was a she was so thin. She was like, I don't know, like a Barbie. I don't know how to describe it. She was thin all over her body except for her tits. She had nice big tits. It's amazing how, like, God can be so unfair. Some girls can just be totally butt ugly, and some girls are totally, pretty like a Stacy. This girl was pretty. She was a brunette with like the straightest dark hair you've ever seen. But the prettiest feature, in my opinion, was her eyes. She had like these gray eyes. I don't know what other word to use. They were gray. They were not green. They were not blue. They were like gray. Anyway, she was hot. And well, I was somewhat. I'm fat now. I've let myself go, and I've become a totally slimy scumbag fat ass. But there was a time when I was actually the shit. Um, and I was the shit back then. And yeah, so I asked her out. We started hanging out. One day, I invite her back to my house. I was living with my parents at the time. The university I was attending was in Chicago, so I would live with my parents and then go, during the day I would go to university for my studies. Anyway, I brought her back to my place, or my parents' house, my dad's house, and her and I are watching television in the front room, in the living room, and we're not doing anything. We're not messing around. We're not naked or anything. Um, but my dad, he comes home unexpectedly. At that time, my stepmother moved out, and she was living with her mom at her mom's house. Her mom owned a really big, beautiful house in Old Town. Old Town is a very exclusive, kind of uppity neighborhood on Chicago's North Side. Anyway, so yeah, so he comes home rather unexpectedly. Her and I are literally sitting on the couch, well behaved, holding each other's hand, and he comes in. He walks through the hallway, and then he turns and faces us. He looks at us. He doesn't even say hi. Keep in mind, again, like, he's never met this girl before in his life, right? I'm his son. He knows me, but he doesn't know that girl. Never met that girl. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't say hi. He doesn't ask, oh, hello, what's your name, young lady? Instead, he starts screaming at the top of his lungs. My father, he comes into the room, looks at us, and he starts screaming at the top of his lungs for, like, I don't know, like 30 seconds. And it got to the point where, like, he wasn't even making any sense. Like, I guess maybe for the first 3 or 4 seconds I could kind of understand what he was saying, but then it broke into, like, almost like wild, undecipherable, like, incantations of a madman, or like the incantations of like a a voodoo witch doctor. Fuck you, don't you know I can go on. And he does this for, like, what seemed forever, seemed like an eternity. And then Um, and then he turns around and he walks out and he leaves. Right away, the girl looks at me. I can't even remember her name, but man, she was hot. She right away she turns and looks at me and she says, "Guess what she says? I want to go home." And I'm like, "Damn, oh, cock blocked by my own dad." True story. But the point is, you see, is you know, I think my father was, um, I think my father went through a lot of abuse himself. I think after he married my stepmother, my stepmother told him all the things that he wanted to hear before he signed the marriage papers. I imagine, I don't know, I imagine she said things like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be really good to your children. I'm gonna love your children like I would love my own children, and I'm gonna be good, and I'm not gonna cheat on you, and I'm not going to be a nagging skank, and I'm not going to be negative all the time, and I'm not going to constantly elicit negative feelings from you. No, I'm not going to do any of those things." Well, guess what she did? Once my father signed the papers, now, now she's the one who's in control. And she turned on him. She became extremely negative and always mean, always controlling, always spiteful, all these put downs, always on the attack. Very, very mean. And as they say, the shit rolls downhill, right? Or I can't remember. I can't remember how it goes. What is it? The shit rolls downhill. You'll have, what is it? The CEO at the board meeting will yell at the president, or no, no, no. The president will yell at the CEO, and the CEO turns around and yells at the plant manager. The manager goes back to the plant and yells at the supervisors. The supervisors turn around and yell at the employees. The employees go home and yell at their wives. The wives turn around and yell at the kids. The kids turn around and yell at the dog. Um, I think you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, the shit rolls downhill. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of the dysfunction that occurred within my father's marriage to my stepmom, I believe has rubbed off on me, or unwittingly was the victim of their abusive, their dysfunctional marriage, and all that cheating, and all that infidelity and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm gonna take a look now. I'm gonna take a look now at some of these comments. So let's see who's in the chat. Oh yeah, you know what? I should preface all this by saying, so this is going to be an interview session. I don't know how many people are watching yet, but this is hopefully going to be like a, I don't know, hour and a half interview session. I want to interview at least 3 people. Please, when and if you call in, um, don't take up too much time. Think like 15 to 20 minutes. Let's say a good 20 minutes. Call in, and I want to hear all the heartbreaking stories. I want to hear all the all the telltale signs of I want to know what brought you to MGTOW, or let's say maybe not MGTOW, the red pill. So I'll use that term interchangeably. I want to know what brought you guys to MGTOW, the horrible stories you might have to share, defining moments in your life that sort of brought you to a red pill state of mind. And yeah, call in. Because of my phone, I have a really low quality phone. I'm only going to have one person call in at a time, and I ask that you'll have like a solid 15 to 20 minutes. Just tell us who you are. If you have a channel, definitely shout out your own channel. And then just tell us who you are. Tell us what brought you to the red pill. And again, I don't know what to call this, like the sweat hotel, or the taxi cab confessions or something. I want to hear some stories. So, all right, let's take a look. Let's see who we got. Okay. Looks like right now there's 16 people in the chat. Let's start all the way at the top. All right, I see Scotty Side is in the building. What's up, Scotty Side? I remember you. Good man. Everyone go take a look at Scotty Side. I interviewed him a couple weeks ago. I think maybe 3 weeks ago now. Scotty Side says, I hear you great. Great. Jay Savage. What's up, Jay Savage? Saturday night's all right. Yeah, Saturday night's good. JR, thumbs up. What's up? Hey, look who's here. Eric Zombro. Yeah, Eric Zombro, you were the comment that sealed the deal. So I put out a PSA and I was like, yeah, so if I can get a couple people, I'll definitely do it. And then a couple people called in, and a couple people left a comment. Eric Zombro did, and I just said forget it. Eric Zombro was like number 7 or number 8. With that, I definitely knew I wanted to do it. Okay, Lamont Ellis. Oh yeah, I conversed with you earlier, Lamont. Yeah, you're probably gonna. I hopefully will be able to converse with you. I definitely wanted you to call in. Hit the like button, gentlemen. Hey, thanks, Eric. Dredgy G. Yes, I remember you, Dredgy. Yo, Cowboy, how's that Atkins diet working out? Oh, man. I knew someone was going to bring it up. It's going terrible. I fell off the diet. I went 22 days, and then I fell off. I'm deeply ashamed. But, of course, when I muster the balls, or when I muster the whatever it is, the je ne sais quoi, the I don't know what, I'm sure I will jump back on. But I, in fact, am drinking a cold beer right now. So I sort of left, you could say I have taken a break. You could say I have left Proteinville and I have re-entered Carb City. Will Cruz says, good evening, gents. Scotty Side. Good evening, gents. Yes. Oh, look who's here. Knowledge is power. Yeah, Mr. Tom Lundy. What's up, Mr. Lundy? I'm glad you could make it, bro. I was hoping I could interview you as well. I've listened to a number of your videos, but I don't actually know exactly why or what the circumstances under which you ended up becoming a MGTOW. John the Recluse is here. John the Recluse. MGTOW Infinium. MGTOW Infinium, what's up, man? Great to see you, bro. Great to see you. MGTOW Infinium, you have a separate channel, don't you? Where it's like, I don't know, it's dedicated to like radios and like, I don't know, like CB radios or something. John the Recluse, okay. James Barr, howdy. Hey, what's up, James? Good to see you, bro. James Barr, what's up? Yes, John the Recluse. Knowledge is power, what's up? All right, let's see. I've got Scotty Side in the chat here. I'm going to bring him in about 10 seconds. Let me just take a sip of this here beer. I'm going to bring in Scotty Side. See what's new and exciting in his world. All right. Guests. All right. All right. I'm going to bring in Scotty Side. Invite guest Scotty Side. Let's see if that works. There we go. Scotty Side at the stream. Invite a guest. I think that worked. Okay, yeah. Scotty, are you there?
Yeah, man, I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Scotty, can you hear me?
Yeah. Nope, can't hear me? Okay.
I cannot hear you that well. Can you speak up a little bit louder?
How's that?
Huh. Oh, that sounds considerably better.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's try again. Okay, yeah, Scotty, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello.
Maybe it's just a lag. Okay. All right. So yeah, what's up? Take it away. You actually, yeah, yes, I can hear you. Although it does seem like there's a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Let me
All right.
let me try and come back in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? We'll try that. And if anyone else, wants to come in, please feel free. At the very, very top of the stream, I have left the link. You can go to the very, very top of the comment stream, and click on the link, and you will it's like a StreamYard overlay. All of this will end up on YouTube, but right now we're going through. Well, you guys access it through YouTube, but the overlay is StreamYard. So whatever, you have to click on the link, and then yeah, just jump right in. All right. I see Scotty side. He just came in again. I'm gonna try to bring Scotty side in again. All right, here we go. Scotty side, add to stream, and he should be coming in.
What's
All
up?
right. Hopefully that's better. Scotty, are you there?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Good. I hope the quality's better this time.
Yeah, man. So on the topic here
What?
of what kind of started me on the red pill. This was about 20 years ago. So I was 17 or 18, something like that. This little haughty goth girl, right? Totally got me infatuated and everything like that. And, eventually got to the point where I really fell for her really hard. And
Sure.
And so I started being like super nice and super romantic and all that kind of crap. And
Yes.
she immediately lost interest. Immediately was like dry as the Sahara. You know what I'm talking about? And
yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, you gotta treat them like trash.
Yeah. No. And yeah, looking back now, being an older guy and being able to see the signs better. Yeah, she was jacked up in the head. And you're right. Like if I just would have kept treating her like trash, she would have just kept coming back and wanting more. But when you're that age, you don't know any better.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And so it still took a lot of other heartbreak and other things that just happened in my life to really swallow the red pill, like take that hard swallow. You know what I mean? And but that was probably the first thing that really got me into the red pill and how women really are. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're cutting out a little bit. Okay, keep going.
Jay, thanks for the subscription. No, just that whole situation was my like first red pill. It was my first like, oh, this is how women really are. This is, their nature. And at the time I was really hurt and everything like that. But now I look back on it and it's like, she's jacked in the head. It's women's nature to be hypergamous. So, it is what it is. But at the time it really hurt and it really sucked. So.
Yeah, I would say that makes plenty of sense. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It was lagging for a little bit, but now it seems like it's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I hear you great, bro. Can you hear me? You there? I think there's probably some pretty bad lag here.
Yeah.
Ooh. There seems to be some pretty rough lag
Absolutely.
here. Damn. All right. Well, you guys heard my story. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I find it amazing, you know, how, you know, MGTOW or Red Pill, we've done a very good job. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just
There does seem to be a little bit of a lag.
yeah, pretty bad. So, but that's my story.
Yeah,
I'll
can
get
you
out
hear
here.
me?
So yeah, I'll get out of here so others can tell their story. But that's like my first
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, again,
thing.
I blame my phone. I take all the blame. So, but yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. There's just a really bad lag. Yeah, really bad.
Major lag. Major lag.
Yeah. But I'll get out of here so other guys can jump in. So appreciate it, everybody.
Okay. Well, yeah. What I would, I guess I would answer. I would retort talking about Scotty. Reminds me of a good song I knew once. In fact, I think it's called "Scotty Doesn't Know." Was your girlfriend at the time? Oh, yeah, right. It's laggy, right? Oh, okay. I guess that works. All right. Let's see if I can get rid of Scotty's side. Scotty's side. Remove from the stream. Okay. All right. Hopefully that gets rid of the lag. Yeah, I'm gonna go to another caller in just a minute, but to comment on that, yeah, you know, I find it amazing. You know, we in the red pill community, in the MGTOW community, we are cognizant of female nature. We absolutely have come to understand the basics of you know, female psychology. And at this point, I tell all young men that I come across, there's really only 3 or 4 things you need to understand if you want to understand women. And these are in no particular order, except maybe the very first one, and that first one is hypergamy. So you know, understand hypergamy, understand hybristophilia, understand Brithel's law, and you'll understand how women are. Understand the concept of monkey branching. Um, you know, there's a song called "Scotty Doesn't Know." I don't know if do any of you guys remember that song. It goes like, "Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me, we do it in my van every Sunday. She says she's going to church, and yes, she's on her knees, but Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Oh, don't tell Scotty, because Scotty doesn't know." See, Scotty's side in this particular case, he didn't know that this goth girl. Well, I'm sure he knew that the goth girl was hot, right? Goth girls are so hot, like that pale ass skin next to that dark hair. It really does something. That stark contrast. It just, I don't know. It gets the blood moving, you know. Well, Scotty understood that she was hot, but you know, Scotty didn't understand that you know, can't treat girls nice, because then, you know, as they say, if you treat a girl like a celebrity, she's gonna treat you like a fan. So yeah, that's I'll leave that at that. Let's see. Looks like we got another guest here. Who do we have? Okay. Well. Looks like we have Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid is in the participant box, and I'm going to bring him in. Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid used to be MGTOW Hybrid, or what is it? I think it was. Well, you know what? We'll be able to ask him. But yeah, I've been following Lord Hybrid for a couple years now. In fact, one of my all-time favorite MGTOW videos was made by Lord Hybrid. I think it's called MGTOW Eulogy. MGTOW Eulogy. You guys can look it up. It's the shit. So I'm going to bring in Lord Hybrid in about 10 seconds. Here he comes. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lord Hybrid. Add to stream. Let's see. I think that did it. All right. Lord Hybrid, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes. All right. What a treat. Is the connection okay? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Excellent. Excellent. At least thus far, I can also hear you perfectly fine. Well, it's very much a pleasure to have you. Thank you for calling in. Can you please take a couple minutes and introduce yourself? Take a moment to shout out your channel, and then hopefully, if you feel like it, maybe you can share a story with us. From your life experiences. What brought you what brought you to MGTOW, or what brought you to the Red Pill?
No doubt. Appreciate you letting me up on your channel, man. I found your channel not that long ago. And just I get to watch it. Sometimes, I can't just watch Red Pill stuff, so I don't watch anybody that much, but I do peek into certain channels, and yours is one of them. But I'm Lord Hybrid. I started off as MGTOW Hybrid about 5 years ago, and making content, and I do it on and off, change names sometimes, and you can check out my channel, Lord Hybrid, and you'll have to see it for yourself and make your own judgment about it. As far as what brought me to MGTOW, I started in MGTOW, and I'm in my 40s now, but in my 30s, I was having a very difficult time in the dating world. And me, being a 90s, kind of, coming into my young adulthood in the 90s and coming up from there, I saw the dating situations change. My 20s were very healthy and great and excellent, and in college and stuff like that, having girlfriends, having long-term relationships, having little side things to play with. My 20s was good, but then when I got into my 30s, man, my dating life went very south, very sorry, went terrible. And I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, but slowly I realized women were changing. And so people from like the 90s and before didn't really understand what the post-social media, smartphone woman, that never existed before. So when women made these subtle changes in their behaviors, we were completely unprepared. And so in my 30s, I just kept losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. And just having rough times and situations with women. And then out of frustration, I started searching, and I ended up finding MGTOW. And I heard the first MGTOW video I heard converted me. It was from a gentleman by the name of Orangelo. And he just made a video called "Yeah, I'm MGTOW," and he just explained it, and it just bam, I just got sucked in.
Sure.
So that's how I got here.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a couple questions. And again, these are all personal questions. You don't have to answer any of them. Where are you from? I'm assuming you're from the States. Are you from the North, the South, the East Coast, West Coast?
I was born in the North, in Brooklyn, and my childhood was split down the middle. In the second half of my childhood, I went to the South, and
Okay.
pretty much that's been my base.
And now you live in the southern half of the U.S.
Yes, I live in the southeast.
Okay. Yeah, I think at this point that's where I'm considering moving because of the exorbitant taxes, and as I'm sure you know, the politics. I'm from Chicago, and the politics are getting worse and worse over here. Um, have you heard this was just in the news? What, 2 days ago or 3 days ago? Here in Illinois, they're trying to pass a law now saying that a woman can now sue a man for an unwanted pregnancy up to $10,000.
I didn't hear nothing about that.
Yeah, yeah, it was it's basically like a response to the what came out of Texas. Apparently, a couple weeks ago in Texas, they started to dismantle some of the Roe versus Wade, the abortion in Texas. They're clamping down on it. So they're whatever, some like feminist liberal politician from Chicago introduced a bill saying that now it's not a law yet, it's just a bill where she wants to make it law where if a woman experiences what she calls an unexpected pregnancy, whatever that means, she can now hold the man liable and sue him for up to $10,000. And then also included in the bill is they would make some sort of like slush fund, some sort of like money fund for any woman from Texas that wants to come up here and get an abortion. So essentially, Illinois taxes or Illinois taxpayers would now start funding abortions for out-of-state women.
I don't see how you live under that non-binary tyrant mayor that you have in your city, but you know, the United States is reverting back to its history of slave states and free states. And I made my move.
Unfortunately, I agree with you.
I made my move last year from a state that turned blue back to a red state. I bought a home in the red state, and men need to be very aware of the fact that right now is the time to, if you're gonna move, make your move now, and do your research about your governor and about your state's ideals. Like places like Texas, places like Florida, they tout their commitment to liberty, and not you they won't let you mandate certain stuff. And if you're in those other states where those other people, the blue people are in control, then they're tyrants, and they're going to continue to impose more draconian laws upon you. So now is the time to be moving, if and doing your research and planning to move immediately. I did it last year. I'm very glad I did it.
Sure, sure. Um, yeah, I mean, so wow, I plan on doing the same thing. I suppose I could right now, or I have the funds if I absolutely needed to. I'm just not actually sure where I want to move. I definitely know I want to move to a red state, but I mean, you said it. What, Florida? I don't know. Florida, Tennessee, Texas. There's a lot of places.
Yeah,
Um,
you named some good places.
okay. Could you tell us maybe a little bit more? Could you maybe do you have maybe a funny story or even a sad story or a crazy story? Have you ever been cheated on? I remember listening to some of your videos. You were talking about, I think it was back in university. You did a very good job at staying in shape. You had like a six pack. You were kind of, I don't want to say jacked, but you were in good shape. And at the time, your girlfriend at the time wanted you to stop working out. Do I remember that correctly? And she wanted you to just get on a job, get into the corporate world, buy everything on debt. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that was my college sweetheart. You know, she started off as my side chick, but I broke up with my girl, and then I just kept her around, and eventually we just, well, she asked me to make a decision, and so I decided, well, I guess you ain't that bad. I'll keep you around, and so
Okay.
just that started in college, and then after college we continued when we both went into the corporate world. But being in the corporate world, I quickly realized that working jobs wasn't for me, but I had
Okay.
no knowledge of how to start a business. So it was a lot of conflict with that situation because she was trying to force me into something like corporate stability so that we could start acquiring debt to get houses and cars and stuff like that. And she couldn't
Sure.
get comfortable with me until I proved to her that I could stay on a job for 5, 10 years, and I never could do it. And I always had entrepreneurial dreams, but that's the thing, that if it's not in you, or you don't have that burning desire, you won't really understand it. You'll see a person is unstable. So um, those forces all came together to create that situation, and eventually we went our separate ways.
Okay. What kind of university did you go to? Did you go to a public university, private university, um, what is it? HBCU, anything like that?
I went to a small public
Small
university.
liberal arts. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a small public university. But it was HWCU.
Okay.
But
What if you don't mind me asking, what was your major?
I majored in business. I started in accounting, but then I realized that was too much work and dedication. So I was like, business is something I'm interested in, and plus it's way easier.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Well, if there's anything else you want to share, please share.
Well, it's a lot of stuff. Look, man, it's a lot of stuff going on. Whereas politically, I mean, there's a lot of that. Our government is captured. Like Merck came out with a new pill for the sea bug, and it doesn't work, and it's terrible. It's bad for your health, gives you cancer, manipulates your DNA, and eventually you're gonna get cancer. And
Well, now that
well,
now that you brought up something,
let me
I'm
finish
sorry.
this. Let me finish this. And you know, they're gonna. Well, Biden already told them if you get FDA approval, then we'll buy 1.2 billion of it for you, and then we'll force it on the people. This is the new business model. They make the government buy whatever they come up with medically for this
Sure.
problem that they created. They make the government buy it and force it on us. And this new pill from Merck that they're saying, hey, this is a magic pill. It really is. They search the dustbins of past medical research for the worst stuff that didn't get accepted back in the day, rebranded and selling to you so it can kill you. This is what's happening. So the government is captured by powerful medical interests, and they're gonna try to force these things, and with an overall agenda that they're not telling you what it is, but it ain't what it is. What it's being advertised as. So, you know, we need to be prepared, even if we have to leave the United States to leave the United States. I'm prepared, but people need to get serious about these things because it's getting to the point to where, like, some of them Jews got smart and got the hell out of there when shit started looking crazy.
Yes, yes. Back in the 30s, not all of them, but some of them got wise.
And remember what happened to the ones that didn't leave, right?
Yeah, right. What do we call that? Normalcy bias. It was incremental, and then little by little things started getting worse. But people would say, oh, it's not going to get that bad. It's not going to get that bad. And so, yeah, the ones that got out, they were smart and they lived and they survived. And we all know what happened to the ones that didn't get out.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's just my message to men is to man, make sure they're being aware, they're living purposefully, move aggressively, and be decisive and be quick. Like for you, for instance,
yeah,
if you're feeling inside that it's time for you to get up out of there, that's something inside of you that's telling you it's time to get up out of there. So don't waste a lot of time making your decision. Do your research. Give yourself a deadline. Hey, by the end of the week, I want to be them pick which one of these places. You can spend all week researching and have your answer by the end of the week. Once you got your answer, action time. Let's get to moving.
yeah. No, I very much admire that sort of drive in you. Maybe I can use some of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to men. Men is that is time is it's gonna be some big changes that's coming fast and heavy, and got to be able to be decisive and agile to save your life. Just me. Look, one of the reasons I left my blue state was because they put all that 5G on my block, and I was trying to. I was sick and dying by the time I figured out what that was killing me. Then I was like, damn, I got to get out of here now. I got to buy a house. Well, I've been wanting to move to my red state, so I was just like, I had to move quick. It still took me like a month, and under that month, my body's being radiated at a high level, and I'm getting sick and sick every day, and I'm in pain. If I couldn't move, I would have died.
So, just because you brought some of these topics up, do you mind me asking? Have you received? I'm not going to call it by name. I'll call it the poke or the jab. Have you received it?
Oh, absolutely not. That will not ever happen.
Absolutely not. Okay. Yeah. Neither have I. Neither have I. Okay. And you sound very averse to it. So you let me guess. You don't plan. You don't have any intention on taking it.
I don't have a need for it, or a desire for it. So, and I don't see that changing.
I couldn't agree more. Now, again, these are all personal questions. You don't have to answer any of them. Would you care to speculate? And if I were to ask you, what do you think it really is? What's this all about?
I studied this a lot on alternative platforms that allows free speech, and I get a lot of opinion that are blocked in places like YouTube and all mainstream media from highly qualified people who have participated at a high level, like there's top world virologists and immunologists that have worked at the highest levels in the biggest corporations over the last 30 years. And even the man who invented the mRNA technology, him and many others speaking and saying a lot of facts that most people don't know about this stuff, and about the process. Whereas, a normal vaccine, I hate to say that word. I don't like that word because it's a
Right.
bad word
We
out
try to
here.
avoid that word.
But the normal the normal testing period is much longer. So they're giving you something that's never put into humans where there's no long-term testing. But what they do know is that the old animal test that they did it when they first invented it, all of the
Didn't they all
animals,
die?
all the animals died. So it's like all of that kind of stuff. And then independent labs putting the serum under electron microscopes and looking at the particles and identifying the particles and seeing that
Sure.
there's all kind of other, metals, microscopic metals and nanoparticles, and nanolipids and all kind of stuff that ain't never been combined, and they don't even know, what it could be. So I have my ideas, but I don't think it's anything to do with helping people with the bug. But I do know people who've been pushing it are people who think that we need depopulation.
Yes.
These are the
Yes,
driving
I couldn't
force,
agree.
the
I couldn't agree
driving
more.
forces behind that believe in that concept seriously, and they, so it's just corrupt in every way to me, and especially the way they're trying to force it, and the way that the large companies are, have captured government agencies and just extracting. They don't even have to sell it to us anymore. They extract it straight from the government. They can just
Sure.
they can just make up a pill, say our lab said this is good, and pull 1 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion out the government. This is what these companies are doing. So they just robbing us and killing us, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. No, I guess how you see it is pretty much right on. It's or I how what you think might be going on is what I think might be going on. I do worry that this is I'll just come right out and say it, that this is part of like some worldwide new world order Rockefeller eugenics operation. I think that some of the ultra rich of the world, they are exceedingly concerned about overpopulation. Um, it's interesting to think what 50 years ago the population of the world was like 1.5 billion, approaching 2 billion. Now they say we're approaching 8 billion. I'm not even saying I completely disagree with
Oh,
all the things that.
I agree. I agree
Right?
that that is a problem as well. I think that's a problem, but this ain't the way to handle it. It should be
Well, that's
something
the
that should
thing.
be
That's the thing. If
openly
they got to kill
discussed.
some people off, who are they going to kill? I don't want them killing me. They can. Why don't they go kill themselves?
That'll be the first best thing that they would do, that they could do for the world, is kill themselves. But if increasing population is a problem, we can make it a world issue, and there'll probably be many people who would, you can incentivize people, pay people not to have kids, or give them tax
Sure.
incentives if they don't. You could work with that with the consent of the people, but to just you know um decimate, genocide, kill billions of people. I don't agree with
Right,
that
right. So now
methodology.
we're sort of entered into the realm of what we call eugenics. From what I've studied, there basically is two types of eugenics. There's positive eugenics and negative eugenics. We are all very we're all very we all understand negative eugenics very well. The negative eugenics is like what the Nazis practice, where it was very swift, it was very quick. There's a group of people or several groups of people, we don't like them, we're just going to kill them. Just mass killing, very quick. um, Positive eugenics is, it's still eugenics, but it's much slower. There's multiple examples. I can give you one or two right now. The Jewish people practiced it, and so did the Greeks. um, Back in ancient times, you had the what's it called, the Olympics were started by the ancient Greeks. Every 4 years, war on the Peloponnesus, or the Greek peninsula, would stop, and everyone would send their best warriors and their best athletes together and compete, and they try to win, and just like today, there was a gold, silver, and bronze. Well, these people who would win, they became celebrities in their own time, and when they returned back to their city state in Athens or Greece or wherever, they didn't have to pay taxes, and it was understood that if they didn't have to pay taxes, they would accumulate wealth much more quickly, and if they accumulated much more wealth much more quickly, they would able to what? They would able to sustain a larger family, and so over time, these people would outpopulate or overpopulate everyone else. And since these are the best people in society, these people are going to create more children, which will, again, eugenics. It will raise the overall stock of the entire population, if that makes any sense. The Jewish community, the Jewish people did it too. Everyone says, oh, Israel was ruled by kings. You got King David, King Solomon. Well, there were whole periods of time when the Jews were not ruled by kings; they were ruled by judges, and it's the same thing with judges. Anyone who anyone who was elevated to the status of a judge, they didn't have to pay taxes. And so these people were able to become wealthier, and so they could therefore sustain larger families. And then, obviously, to be a judge, you had to kind of prove yourself. It was, if you will, if you want to call it, it's almost like a screening process for like the highly capable, the people with higher IQs. And so, the people who are capable and fit and who have high IQs, they're the ones who are going to be elevated to the status of a judge. They're allowed, then they're gifted the ability to not have to pay taxes. They have more children. Over time, it improves the entire Jewish stock. And then now what we see is Jewish people have the highest IQ, measured IQ in the world. So, but that takes thousands of years. That takes a long time. Negative eugenics, you just kill them off right now. And I think that's what people like you and me are scared of. It's like, is this some sort of like, clot? Is this some sort of like death shot, clot shot? Is that what you think it is? What have you heard?
Heard a lot of stuff. But it's gonna.
You seem pretty intelligent. I mean, what from all the information that you've gathered, what do you think this might be? Like I said, I admit it. I think it's some sort of like death shot. I think half the people that take this are going to die in the next like 5 years or something.
I've heard that, and the thing is, I mean, I'm not a scientist, and I don't really understand how everything works. So it's hard for me to even like all of the things sound feasible, and at the same time far out. But yeah, I've heard that it's gonna kill all the people. They're gonna have they release these nanoparticles. That's another thing that I don't like about it. I know these nanoparticles are so small. There's nothing else in your body that small.
Right. There's nothing that can stop them. They cross the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah, they can just permeate anywhere. And if anything could just permeate and can't be controlled like that in the body, that makes me think that it has the ability to disrupt massive systems, all major, anything that it gets into, it can disrupt it, and before you know it, everything just ain't working right. It's like you put the wrong, you put gasoline in a diesel car, then when you supposed to put the oil, you put something else, and you put antifreeze, and then you put oil in the radiator, and you do all of these things, and I feel like that's what it just, all of that stuff is just gonna make the car conk out because everything's just out of whack. And I think it could be something like that, or we don't know how those nanoparticles will, as they're passing through cells, they're so small, they're the size of DNA. Will it knock a DNA out of line and then cause a cancer? Or it's so much craziness with shooting nanoparticles. People don't understand the concept of nanoparticles, and there shouldn't be no nanoparticles that small. I'm talking about how they measure them in like micro
in nanometers.
Yeah, nanometers. You know what I mean? Something you need an electron microscope to
that's
see.
Smaller than a micrometer.
Yeah, it's insane. It's gonna just be floating through you, just tearing up everything it hit. And it's billions of them in each injection.
Yes.
So, I don't have the knowledge to be able to even say what I think will happen, but I know something with all of that. And then God knows what they programmed them to do, or what kind of materials they made out of them, because they probably researched that this does something bad to the whatever. You know what I mean? So it might not just be, neutral nanoparticles. It could be specifically made out of substances to attack certain systems. Who knows? These are evil scientists.
These are evil scientists. Okay. If I can have you for one more minute, I want to talk to you about Bill Gates. You know who Bill Gates is, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course. Okay. So did you know that Bill Gates' father, who, by the way, his name was also Bill Gates, so I guess Bill Gates is actually Bill Gates Jr., his father, Bill Gates Sr., was instrumental in setting up an organization with Margaret Sanger called Planned Parenthood. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of information, on him, especially now that
Okay.
I'm, really researching. So I seen, documentaries on him where they detail his history and what his father
Sure.
was about and stuff like that.
Yeah, his father again helped plan the opening of the founding of Planned Parenthood with another woman, Margaret Sanger. Do you know anything about Margaret Sanger?
I don't know a lot about her, but I've heard about her. I know she started Planned Parenthood, but I don't know that much about her.
Yeah, yeah. She, her, and her cadre, or people of her political ilk, started Planned Parenthood, and she openly was saying, we need to destroy the black community, and we need to kill off all the black people because they're overpopulate they're out breeding white people. And she used to write love letters to Hitler, and Hitler and her were friends, and her strategy was to go to the leaders of all the black churches and to get them on board. And then fast forward to today, where do you predominantly find Planned Parenthoods? On college campuses, or right next to college campuses, and right next to predominantly black neighborhoods. Were you aware of any of that?
I knew Planned Parenthood was used to do a lot of abortions, and I've heard that they've aborted 30 million black babies since their inception. That's a whole nation of
Here in the
black people.
U.S.
Say that again.
You mentioned they have since their inception, uh, they've uh, they've murdered off 30 million black babies.
Right, they've aborted 30 million black babies. So they achieved their goal. There'd be 30 million more black people if it wasn't for them. That's a whole nation of black
So
people that they killed.
yeah, no, there's the seed of an entire generation. Okay, so are you aware that are you aware that the population, and again, if any of this is these are all personal questions. You don't have to discuss any of this. If you find any of this not to your liking, you could always just say. Um, are are you aware that at this point, the statistic I've heard is 52% of all black babies are now being aborted before they're born?
Hey, I just lost one. So if that's the number, it's still shocking. I was not aware of that number, like how many of the children are being aborted, but they're aborting half of the. That's
More
that's
than
heart.
half. More
That's
than
heart.
half.
That's heart wrenching.
52%.
That's heart
Yeah,
wrenching.
yeah, yeah. As a Christian, I mean that's pure evil, by the way. So it's like,
Absolutely.
see, so what I'm trying to say is the black community, the population, the black population in America is actually shrinking. It's not growing. It's not even stabilized. It's shrinking. They are actively killing you off, and now they're just replacing you with Mexicans, or at least that's how I see it. If you want to look at it that way, but yeah, basically the population of black people is shrinking in America because of people like that. And who are those people? Well, yeah, as I just explained, these people are connected with who? The Nazis, or the Ku Klux Klan, or who all these other groups. You know, um, like I said, and who are they also connected to? Bill Gates's father. I mean, is Bill Gates Jr. just continuing in the legacy of Bill Gates Sr.? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, the whole thing to me, it looks kind of fishy.
Yeah, it's scary. It's fishy. It's corrupt. It's tyrannical. It's fascist. I mean, so I wish I could be so lucky that I could start a business, and any product that I make, the government will buy up to $2 billion or $15 billion of it. So
That'd
I'm
be great.
automatically a billionaire, and then make you guys take whatever I'm selling. I don't care if I'm selling toilet paper. Well, the government say you already bought it, so you know they're forcing you to take this toilet paper that Hybrid's producing. I could make
I mean,
billions.
that's bad enough. But what if your toilet paper contains like super secret nanoparticles that are gonna crawl up your ass and give you rectal cancer, give you colon cancer?
Hey man, that
All
that's
right.
that's 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 what it is, man. So it's just like, man, golly, I'm prepared to go where I gotta go. I don't trust the food system anymore, cause the same gentleman, the little computer man with the glasses, he owns more farmland than any
Correct.
other private entity in the United States. So now he believes in GMO. He's trying to GMO us.
Right.
So anything he feeds us is going to be GMO. So for quite a bit of time now, especially more so this year, like I just go to farmers market and buy my food directly from farmers. I don't eat from the food system anymore. I prepare all my own
Sure.
food and I buy directly from farmers. So it's like little moves like that we got to make, man, because it's life and death now. Everything is corrupt in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm starting to completely agree with you. That's what I'm thinking now. First I for example, a couple months ago, it was already a long time ago, 6 months ago, I I was I drove over the border to Indiana with my real estate agent, and I was looking at a two flat, a duplex, for like $65,000. And I'm thinking, wow, I found this place. This is it. Good price. I'll buy here. Now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even do that. Maybe I should buy a plot of land and literally like build a house. You can call it a house if you want. Build like a little structure and put in a I know this sounds crazy, but you sound like you're right up that alley. Farmers markets and like plant like my own vineyard and some apple trees and have chickens and put in a septic system and a solar a couple solar panels. Like I don't know. It's getting scary to me. I
Look,
wish we could just legislate these people and control them, but they seem to be totally out of control.
look what's happening. Did you know that I think it's Lebanon? Lebanon hasn't had any power in the whole country for 2 to 3 days.
Wow, I didn't
China,
know that.
yeah, they've been out. China, roving blackouts.
Yes, I've heard. Oh, no, 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 rolling brownout. They come back on, but you'll have electricity for like 6 hours out of the day.
Yeah, this is a crisis that's been exasperated around the world, and it's coming here too. Um, soon as Joe got in, he shut down pipelines. Soon as he got in, we had
Sure,
gas shortages in my part of the country. Um,
sure.
Shortages of everything. Rapid inflation. So it's like having a stable power source. My next whole move is ranch living. Put in
Yeah,
a $50,000, buy a plot of land enough to sustain for animals and food for myself and to sell, and solar powered. You could put in like a $50,000 solar system at your house, get it professionally installed, and have same quality of living with they can map it out to the size of your house and how many appliances and how many people and all that stuff, and give you enough solar to
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah. How
saying, be
many
living regular.
amperes you'll need? How many amps? How many watts? Yeah.
Or
How
yeah,
many people live in there?
right. So get that, give me some land. That's my next move. Like I'm saving my money to do that next, to ensure my stability. So bought freezers, filled them up with food. I go to the farmer's market and buy lots of food every weekend and deposit them in my freezer bank in my garage. I got 2 banks in my garage, one full of meat, one full of
Sure.
local produced clean vegetables. So I can make it, food wise without having to go to the grocery store for a good minute. A lot of canned goods too. So it's like, I want to get prepped to the max.
I was just about to say, you sound like a prepper.
Yeah, man. It's too much scary stuff going on, man. Too much weird. And the government, just seeing what the position that the government in, totally captured by these giant corporations. Big problem for our liberties in this country.
Well, people like what's his name, Zuckerberg. Is it Mark Zuckerberg? He says that that's not good. That's not right. You should not be prepping. A couple weeks ago, he got rid of there was like a group of women who were promoting canning pickles. Have you heard of, like you can get like you get mason jars and you can like can cucumbers and turn them into pickles.
Yeah, I grew up in the country growing food and eating
Yeah, yeah,
pickled
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, right. He shut them down. He called it extremist. What he forgot to mention is, I believe he owns a luxury 17-room compound fallout shelter. I don't know what you want to call it. He has a 17-room underground fallout shelter, a survival. I don't know what you want to call it. Like a fallout shelter.
Yeah, I know them rich people bunkers.
Yeah, bunker. Yeah, he's got like a 17-room underground bunker. But you can't have pickles. You know that.
That's why I ain't on Facebook, man, and I ain't in
Right.
California, man.
Right.
It's just man, the people in the know, they better move to these red states. You got, like you said, you named a lot of good states: Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. Um, know the liberty states, know the states where they're committed to liberty, and move there quickly and establish yourself, and then as soon as possible, get you a little piece of land, and a little bit of space to do what you need to do. So worst come to worst, if everything fall apart, you can produce your own food, and
Right.
you got some groundwater. I grew up on well water. We ain't never, I grew up in the country, so having your own water source is important.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Very good. Very good. Listen, it was a pleasure talking with you. If you don't mind, do you mind if I boot you off and try to bring on someone else?
Sure, man. Enjoy talking to you, and I'll be tuning in to your channel, and like I
Thank you.
said,
Thank you. Can you
appreciate you.
also can you please take another minute, just kindly? Can you take another minute and just talk about your channel? Mention your channel a couple times. Mention some of your most popular videos. Just real quick.
The channel is Lord Hybrid. I mean, a lot of y'all probably like hardcore MGTOW. I'm not really on that no more. I'm at a different place in life. But MGTOW is a tool that I do use. I'm actually using it now. Like, I believe in religious based, not state based marriages, and we need family structures if we're gonna continue. Humans form families and always have, and we need them to be able to continue on into the future. But we just have to do it where the state can't impose anything on us. So religious, not state-based marriages, and I think we need religion. And these are the things I'm talking about now. Like today's stream was about how the rainbow community is targeting children, and it gives you specifics on that, and shows you their tendencies, and even from a biblical perspective. But just identifying opportunities in society, as well as how to survive as best as possible in the society. That's what my channel is mainly focused on, and you can check it out at Lord Hybrid. And I appreciate my man MGTOW Cowboy for letting me come up, and I'm gonna let you move on to the next caller. So I'll be in touch with you, MGTOW Cowboy, and I shout out to everybody listening, everybody in the chat, and I'm out.
All right, thanks again, everyone. That was Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid. He used to go by MGTOW Hybrid, but I guess like he just mentioned, he sort of he moved on. He has graduated, matriculated, moved on from MGTOW, and now his emphasis is, as he just said, prepping. Getting right with himself, getting right with, I know he's a Christian, so getting right with Jesus. I've been subscribed to him for years. I don't think I'm as religious as he is, but I would say I agree with at least 90% of what he talks about. And he's in my opinion, he's top tier, university educated. Notice he's very well spoken. He doesn't just, he doesn't fall into folly where he just thinks, I think this and this is what I think based on nothing. He does research, I love talking to people like that, because they I don't know, I feel like they make me smarter, because you can't know everything. So anyway, yeah, that was Lord Hybrid. Thank you very much for coming on. It was great. It was great speaking with you. You guys, if you want to call in, please call in. I definitely want maybe two more interviews if anyone wants. Let me go to see the new comments. Let me see. Let me see if I can post the. Let me see if I can post it. Paste. Okay, I think I did. It seemed like it worked. It's a private chat here. Thomas Lundy. Oh, looks like Thomas Lundy texted me. MGTOW Cowboy, I'm going to have to leave shortly. I am so exhausted from work. I would love to catch you another time, if not today. Oh, too bad. It looks like I lost Mr. Lundy. That is too bad. Okay. Well, hopefully he can call in. If he can't, that's too bad. And maybe I can get someone else. All right. Mr. Lundy writes, great stream. Will Cruz. All right, guys. Kindly, if anyone else wants to call in, please call in. I just sent the link, and hopefully we can get at least one other person. I'm fine with doing two more, and then I'm going to cover some of these. These comments. Okay. Will Cruz. At knowledge is power. Good night, brother. We'll catch you. It looks like, okay, so knowledge is power is, okay, so he left. Oh, that sucks. I wanted to speak with him. Knowledge is power. Thanks, Whiskey. Knowledge is power. Sounds good. One Fast Ack in the house. Hey, what's up, One Fast Ack? Thanks for coming in, man. It's always great to see you. Will Cruz, remember, this is all by design. Yes, unfortunately, I think that at this point, this is maybe not all of this. There are wild cards involved, but yes, I think that there is like a grand plan. The people that run the world, they want to move us in a certain direction. So yes, I do think that there's design involved. Will Cruz writes, there are no coincidences. Well, I think that there can be some coincidences, but yes, again, I think that there's a master plan. There's a design. There's a design to all of it, right? As me and Hybrid were just talking about. Okay, John the Recluse writes, the way to keep the black population from declining, it's to educate them on health in African nations. Okay, well, yeah, maybe that's true, but I'm more concerned with the African people in our nation, in America, right? That's what I'm sure, and I'm not against what you just said, but I'm more interested in educating the African people in America, the African Americans. Okay. One Fast Stack writes, conspiracy theories come true in about 2 months now. Yes, very scary, but that's what's going on now. Like at this point, I think it's fair to say, uh, I remember a long time ago listening to, you guys remember Alex Jones? I remember listening to him, and people would call him crazy. At this point, it seems like at least half, probably at this point, more than half of everything that Alex Jones would ever talk about has come true. So, people call him crazy. I don't think he's crazy at all. All right, Whiskey's Path writes, they have always used black men as guinea pigs for their experiments in destruction. In the 50s, the African American middle class was the fastest growing in the U.S. Yeah, I was just watching a documentary about that. What was it? Look, there were two major things they talked about. One I remember well. The other one I don't. The one I remember well was the Tuskegee experiments in. I didn't know how long the Tuskegee experiments lasted, though. They lasted for years, where military officers, all black military officers, that I guess were like airmen or like in the they were pilots. They were purposely being injected with some disease. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring someone else in. It looks like someone jumped in. We have John the I can't see the rest. I think if I remember correctly, his name, it's John the Recluse. John the Recluse just popped in, so I'm gonna bring him in. Let's see if I can do it. Go to guests. John the Recluse. Add to stream. In 3, 2, 1. Here you are, John the Recluse.
Hi, can you hear me?
Let's hope that worked. Let's see if that worked. Is this John?
Can you hear me?
John, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you do me a favor and make sure you speak up a little bit?
Right. How about this? Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, I can hear you much better now. Am I lagging at all? Can you hear me clearly? Is there good flow?
Just fine. Just fine. There might be some lag because I can't let's say hear you.
Hello, John, are you there?
There's some lag.
Okay, there's some lag. I'll tell you what, I have a favor to ask of you. I'm going to kick you off the stream. Once I kick you off, can you please immediately jump back on and just try to reboot the I don't say reboot the program. Can you jump right back on?
I'll try. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, it seems like the connection has improved precipitously, so maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should just continue. Can you hear me now clearly?
Very, very much, yes.
Yeah, very much too. Also on my end. Okay, it looks like it fixed itself, so there's no need to do that. Okay, cool. So I like to do this with everyone who calls in. Can you please introduce yourself to the community, or at least to this chat? We've only got like 22, 23. Got 23 people in the chat right now. Can you please introduce yourself? If you have a channel, please plug your channel. If not, can you just introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Were you ever married? Tell us your life story. Tell us what brought you to the Red Pill.
Okay, I've never been married, but I've had a long-term relationship once with a wonderful woman long ago. She was I'm white, to be honest. I mean, and she was Puerto Rican, and she was just a wonderful woman. she was attracted to me first, and at first I wasn't very much attracted to her, but
Okay.
eventually I thought to myself, I said, wow, you had this attractive woman come to you and you did nothing. And so I eventually approached her, yeah, and this was in college, and we just
Where did you go to college?
I don't want to say specifically, but it was just
What
it was just
state?
in college. Oh, New York.
In New York. Okay. Oh yeah. You said she was Puerto Rican, so probably somewhere around New York City. You said she was Puerto Rican. Was she spicy?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Whatever you want it to mean. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please continue.
She was a very Catholic, devoted to her Catholic religion, and I was, to me, this was a godsend because she was very different from most of the white women I would have met, assuming my social status and everything, but it's like it was night and day as far as I was concerned. She was just beautiful. She was, and I'll say this much: she was a virgin, and I was.
Nice.
She was 5 years younger than I was, and to be honest, I was also not experienced, and so when she was attracted to me, I was not really interested in her at first, but she became a very beautiful woman to me because of the fact that she was just so different than what I'm used to, that I just fell in love with her.
Okay.
Yeah, and eventually, we did, the act, and it was
the act.
The act of, let's say, copulation.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
And for many years, we dated on and off because it was sort of it was a torrid. I would call it a torrid relationship. And even though we were, I didn't want her. I didn't want to lose her to someone else because, she was my first and I was her first, and it would just like go back and forth that way for many years. And when I did lose her, it was very hard on me. But that's okay. It's life. It's like if I'm not going to commit to her, then she has to move on. That's just the way it is.
Okay. Do you mind me asking at this point? I have a quick question for you. How old are you? You make it sound like you used the phrase long ago. Are you over 45?
Cowboy, I'm 57 right now.
Oh, okay. So
So
this was a little before my time.
right. Yeah, a long time ago. And you know what? I'll say this much, that I've been single after her. I did not really want another relationship. Although there was at times I fluctuated between having another one or not. I just, I just didn't think it would be the same because we had a wonderful time together. But she eventually moved on, and the guy she moved on with cheated on her, which
Sure.
I was shocked. I was quite shocked with, and I was like, "Oh, Janice, I'm sorry I mentioned her name." I moved on.
No, it's okay. It's no big deal.
Yeah, well, I was so sorry that happened to her because she didn't deserve it, because she was a good woman,
So then
And
why didn't you marry her?
I did. That's a good question. Is that because, in the end, she made me feel less of a man. She
That's
criticized.
strange. Why is that?
Well, she criticized me. she criticized me on my behaviors as to doing for her what she wanted me to do. And like,
So if she was criticizing you, why didn't you just give her one good swift backhand?
I would never do that because she was too good a woman. I mean, come on.
Well, apparently she wasn't that good if she's criticizing you.
Well, Cowboy, there's some things you can strike a woman for, and there's some things you can't, and those are definitely not some things that you can, and just because she wanted you to do something doesn't mean you should backhand her, you know.
I was gonna say sometimes women actually want that, you know. As I say, it's, you know, sometimes I thugs my bitches, sometimes I thugs my bitches, you know.
No. She's not that kind. She was a good Catholic girl, and she went to the church, and she actually she actually helped the priest out. I mean, she was one of those rare beauties that you just come across very rarely. And remember, I did not meet this woman until I was 24 years old, and
Sure.
I was holding off because no white woman that I've ever met even came close to meeting her standards as a decent woman. And that's just the fact of the matter.
No, yeah, I guess in a way I agree. Okay, so I'm half white and half Mexican, although I look and sound very white. But yeah, I'm Catholic. I have a Spanish last name. My father was born in Mexico. This girl that you're talking about, I already forgot her name. You mentioned her name. She was Catholic. I'm assuming were you? You're not Catholic, I'm assuming.
Well, at the time, I was atheist, or mostly atheist. I would say, or agnostic at best.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is you're a wasp. Is that fair to say? You sound kind of waspy.
Definitely not, because you know what, Protestantism was. I was detached from all Christianity at that point. I was mostly, I'm from New York, so this notion of being a wasp or being Catholic had absolutely no meaning for me.
Well, I would say at this point, being a WASP almost carries more of a cultural undertone than a religious undertone. At this point, I think secularism has grown, and hardcore religiosity in this country has sort of dampered down. It's sort of gone down. So I see that more as like a cultural undertone, if you will.
Well, that's, to me, that's a result due to their lukewarmness. I mean, let's face it, they got flags and multicolored flags in front of their churches. Who the hell, as a reasonable so-called Christian man, wants to go into a church with a LGBTQ flag in front of their church? I mean, come on, you got to be the biggest pussy in the world to want that.
I'm telling you, it's all the rage now.
I look at it and I just laugh to myself at each of one of these churches, and I would never walk into a church like that, let alone try to argue with these people, because they're ridiculous.
Well, but it says, there's a sign right in front. All are welcome.
Well, you know what? The truth is, Jesus does not welcome all people, and that's a fact.
I know. Christianity is not a religion of tolerance.
Oh, no, not in the least. Just like Islam is not a religion of tolerance. And not that I'm siding with Islam.
I agree.
I'm not siding with Islam. We fought. I mean, there have been people who fought wars. The Christians and the Islamists have fought wars between themselves for many centuries over conquering European nations or North Africa, over over this, and they did not give an inch, neither side. And the fact is, they were closer to the actual Christianity. Look, Christ told his followers in, I think it was Luke 22, to get swords for themselves, only because
Sure.
they had to defend themselves against these heathens that will try to destroy them. And
Sure,
yet
of course.
they never will you hear that sermon in any of these so-called LGBTQ churches today. And that's a lie, because the you have to defend yourselves against heathens who will destroy your faith.
Sure, I agree. I mean, I was just having an extended conversation with Knowledge is Power. I think he left. He was in the stream earlier. His name is Thomas Lundy, and we've talked extensively about some of these issues. You know, it's gotten to the point now. I mean, you know, these churches, I don't even consider them churches. It's getting to the point now they allow female pastors. It specifically says in the book, the pastor is to be a male. But you know, the point I'm trying to make is, you know, we have, some of these churches are so divorced from the reality of what the book says that it's not even really a Christian church anymore.
Well, I mean, Cowboy, I'm not a hateful person at all. You know, I understand people want respect no matter who they're from, where they're from, and that's what I give them. As long as they're respectful to me, I'm great. You know, we're good. It's the thing that I do recognize some things about Christianity that don't coincide with the modern day narrative of what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
You know, and that's you know, and the thing is, like, it's hard for me to say this because I'm not a hateful person at heart. I never wanted to be. I always wanted to treat people honorably and with respect, and that's the thing is it's there are some things beyond spiritualism that move off to I would say the physical reality of things that people don't want to recognize, and that's something that people
Can you give an example?
It's hard for me to say so, because you know, being I suppose I'm a white man. I don't know. I'm part, you know, Italian, part Irish, part Scottish. I don't know exactly what my heritage is beyond.
I was going to say I couldn't tell. You struck me as being possibly Ethiopian.
How do you figure that?
That's I'm sorry, that's a terrible joke. No, it's a joke. I mean, you obviously to me you sound white. You know, you don't sound ethnic at all. You don't even really sound like ethnically Italian. You sound just very well Americanized.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm only a quarter Italian. My grandmother was from Naples in Italy, and you know, and she was a wonderful grandmother. She spoke her mind no matter what, and it was you know, it was kind of a wonderful thing, you know. And she married this Irish guy who was yeah, like quite the opposite of her. And so I found that kind of ironic, you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's I don't want to reveal everything that what I'm thinking right now, because it, to me, and maybe it's wrong for me to do this and come on your stream, but it's something that I recognized in that I'm not sure if you're familiar with Undead Chronic or Ribby or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm actually familiar with both. I'm less I'm less experienced listening to Ribby. Ribby's kind of new, although at this point, I've just recently got into his streams. I'm much more cognizant or familiar with Undead Chronic, and I've been following Undead Chronic for well over a year, maybe 2 years now. It probably acts like at least 5, 6 of his channels. He's probably on like channel number 10 or something. But yeah, I know Undead Chronic
Well, yeah,
and his homeboy Ribby.
yeah, he's on like the Legionnaire 14th Legion right now, and it's amazing that he keeps going like this. I'm surprised that he's still on YouTube, but it's like Chronic. Even though I like him very much, he and Ruby as well. It's they have a view of, let's say, women that I just don't understand. Like, they want to view women who have been with, several or many men, who knows, as practice. To me, that's just, why bother? To me, monk mode is the best method for a man.
Well,
You know,
well, what I would say to you is, you really have to take into consideration people's age and experience. I have just recently come to see the fringe benefits that monk mode offers, and I don't even profess to be a monk. Just a couple days ago, I had a lady friend, longtime lady friend, come over, and I took her home, and I enjoyed that, if you know what I mean. But I don't. Well, the point I'm trying to make is, I'm 37. You're, what was it, 57? These
20
guys are
years.
27, or these guys might be in their early 20s. Imagine how hard it is when you're 22
absolutely.
and you're looking at a 21-year-old girl, and she's looking. I remember. Let me share with you a real quick story, true story. I was a DSP, direct support professional or something like that. It's some BS term for basically like a CNA. I was working basically as a CNA at a group home, and this was in South Dakota when I was in university, and I was the only guy in my sectional or whatever. Basically, I was working with all women, and I remember, and a couple of them were really cute. And I remember one instance where I was running into a coworker who I had a really big crush on in the hallway as we were passing, and she knew I had a crush on her, and it was terrible. She came right up to me and she started talking to me, and I almost momentarily I lost my ability to compose myself. I almost started like moving and contorting my body in a weird, almost in a I don't know what you want to call it. Obviously, it's sexual in nature, but it's like I'm telling you, young men, especially when you're real young, let's say under 31, 32, definitely under 30, definitely in your early 20s, 21, 22, 23, 24, you're so enchanted, you're so enthralled with women. I mean, you can barely contain yourself. Don't you remember? Do you remember those days?
Oh my God, do I? There were several women who attracted me when I was younger that I just had an absolute
John, are you there?
Can you hear me? Shoot. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
John, are you there? Okay. Let's try to sync. Let's try to sync ourselves. So I'm gonna say right now, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Respond as quickly as possible.
Yes, I can. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119 Yeah, I guess there is a little bit of a lag. Okay. Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you just keep going. You sound like you wanted to say something. Just cut right in and start speaking your piece again. Go right ahead.
All right. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'll continue. Um, the the thing is, like, I met my ex, my first girlfriend, real girlfriend, in college.
Go ahead, John.
Mhm. Yeah, I think where there's a problem. How about now?
John, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Please continue.
All right, there is a lag problem, but I'll continue. I met my ex, in college. She was a wonderful girl. I mean, she approached me, and I would never have approached her if I had seen her first. Um, but I said to myself, well, here's this, attractive, girl approaching her, and you did nothing. So I got up, I went to her, console station, and I asked if she needed help. And that's how it all started. She eventually invited me out with her mom to go bowling, and it was a wonderful time. We had a great time. I was really attracted to her.
And you were how old? You were 24,
I was 24 at the time, yes, and
and
she was
she was what, 5 years younger?
19, yes.
That's interesting. I have a very 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 similar story. I think I was 20. I think I was 24, and the girl was 19. She was also 5 years younger than me. And guess what our first date was? We went bowling.
That's
So
amazing. Did you
yeah,
go
and
with the mom too?
she turned into the love of my life. She was the only woman that I know for a fact that I ever truly loved.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, friends later in life when they met her, when she was all dolled up and and she got makeup on, even if she didn't have makeup on, which she didn't wear most of the time, she was just a beautiful girl, and um, they described her as being way above any of the wives or the girlfriends uh, that my friends were with. It was just, and I knew she was a beautiful woman. I just that at first I never saw her that way though. That it was funny that way.
Okay, let me change tack a little bit.
Sure.
So you're 57 now. Do you work? Do you still work?
Oh, of course I have to. And the funny thing is, the only reason why I'm working now is because I'm so weak with booze and women.
Okay.
And I want to say this as a warning to you guys. You'll want to be retired by the time you're 55, because 55 is the age where you can still get full Social Security when you reach 62, and and um, still be retired, not having to have a boss at that age.
Do you mind me asking what kind of work do you do?
I'm a technician for electronics.
Okay.
I'm not going to say
So
specifically what electronics, but it's basically fire alarm,
I'm sorry, did you say firearms?
fire alarm.
Oh, fire alarms, like ADT or something like that. Okay, okay, sure, sure,
Well, ADT is more security, but they do have a fire alarm division now.
sure, sure, sure. I got you. I got you. Okay, very good. Okay. Um, are you a monk? Are you a MGTOW monk now, or
Well,
no?
I'm a monk as far as a monk can go with um, yeah, the thing is, like, I have my way of uh, what is it? Getting my
Getting your rocks off.
well, I didn't want to put it that way, but yeah.
No, that's fine. I mean, this is real life. My channel is real life. I mean, I ask people to call in and share, what's going on. I mean, I just learned today. I was hanging out with my real estate agent. You remember David Letterman, the David Letterman show? Do you know that? Do you know that David
Yeah.
Letterman had David Letterman had his first child at 64 years old. Did you know that?
Well, it doesn't surprise me because I never regarded David Letterman as really a macho kind of guy. And
Well,
and I
you know,
do, I kind of mean that as an insult because I never liked the guy.
Well, I wouldn't. Okay, I'll give you that. I mean, he wasn't my favorite guy either. I mean, I guess I'm much more of a who's that crazy guy, that redhead guy with the big hair?
Oh,
Uh,
what's his name?
Connor, not Connor.
Con-
Conrad. Not It doesn't matter. It'll come to me.
regardless, I don't like any
Conan
of them.
O'Brien. Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien, yeah, and you know what? I don't like him either. But
Oh, I
he
love
was
Conan.
he definitely was a step above David Letterman.
Oh man, I love Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien is like the quintessential American wasp. I mean, I know he's Conan, so he's like Irish, and technically they're Catholic, but there's so much overlap at this point. Basically, if you're like white and like high class and uppity and educated, I kind of see myself as waspy, even though I'm half Mexican. Whatever. But
To
but
me, being a wasp is being lukewarm as far as Christianity is concerned.
well, then that fits me pretty well because I'm pretty lukewarm on it. I was raised very much in a Catholic tradition. We used to go to church every weekend until I was probably like 10 or 11. But yeah, I went to Catholic grammar school, Jesuit Catholic high school. I started at a Jesuit Catholic university. So, I've got my taste of religion. But, since then I've moved away from like hardcore Christianity. I'm friendly towards it. I definitely side with I definitely feel like I'm very amicable with Christian people, Christian beliefs. But I don't go to church or anything anymore. So
Yeah, church will never do anything for me at this time in my life, and in fact, for the rest of my life.
okay. So if I can elicit from you a good story, you don't maybe have a story for us. I mean, you're 57, so you've definitely seen a chapter or two out of life. Can you share with us what brought you to MGTOW? What brought you to the red pill? Do you have any horror stories, pregnancy scares, divorces, or I think you said you never got married, but you've been in long-term relationships. Do you have
No,
anything with anyone, girlfriends, your mother, sisters, anything that sort of what turned your mind? What sort of catharsis did you go through where you went from, let's say, a blue pill or like let's say I don't know, a normie to a base person?
okay. I never had a good relationship with my parents, either my mom or my dad. Now, could that have affected my life? Of course it did. But the thing is, I recognized that my mom and my dad never had a really good relationship, and that's fine. That happens with most people, I think. But the thing is, they eventually stayed together, which I found was really hard for me to accept, to go through all that pain and anguish, to go through all that and then eventually remain with the same person. So I didn't want that to happen to me. My ex-girlfriend, even though she was a loyal, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better girlfriend in 2021 or
No,
the
wait, are you talking about the spicy Boricua girl?
I'm talking about the my ex girlfriend, yeah. And
The spicy Puerto Rican girl.
you want to call it spicy, but you know what? Actually, she might even regard that as a compliment. She
I
even
bet you she would.
oh, maybe she would. I mean, maybe she wouldn't, because you know what? I remember I described some guy, some other Hispanic fellow described her as being warm, and she took offense to that. And I was like, okay, fine, you took offense to it. and,
Well,
and
if that's the case, just tell her I'm half Mexican, so I can say whatever I want concerning other Hispanic.
doesn't matter. She already knew the guy was Hispanic. So I said to her, I said, okay, fine, you're not that warm.
There you go.
And so uh, the thing is, like, she was just a wonderful girl. I mean, a very loyal. I couldn't ask for a better woman, in my life. The thing is, the thing that didn't allow me to marry her was a combination of personal issues that I had with my own parents, because my parents broke up before I hit puberty, and um, because my dad had cheated on my mom with
Sure.
several women, and I had suppressed those memories for over 20 years. And when they came back, it was a really odd situation. I had already broken up with my ex-girlfriend, and those memories came back when I was trying to I guess trying to make an attachment to a woman I met at a bar. And when I couldn't do it, I went to my car and I realized, I says, what the hell is wrong with me? And then I realized that then at that moment, the memories returned that I had suppressed for 20 years. I couldn't believe it.
What kind of memories?
Okay, there's one specific one that my father had when me and my sisters, along with my mother, had stopped by my father's, let's say, place of business. And when we did, she found that in his car seat in front of us, there was another woman. My mother got out, and I didn't know what was happening at first because I was in the back seat. And then my sisters, my two sisters, were telling my mom, uh, "Mom, don't do it," and all that. And she got out. She went to the driver's side passenger of the car in front of us. She pulled this girl by her hair outside of the car and started beating on her. My dad tried to stop her. Something like that had suppressed in my memories for 20 years, and I never remembered it. And then it came back all of a
Yeah.
sudden. There was another memory also where my father took me out, supposedly to spend time with me when they had split. Then we went to the beach in New York, and he spent all his time kissing and hugging this girl that he was with, whom he hid in the back seat of his car. And when
Wow.
we left, oh yeah, when she popped her head up, I was shocked. And then when we went home, he told me to lie to my mother, telling her that no one else was with us. And then my mom, she asked me, was anyone else with you? And I said no. And because my father told me to tell her that. And she said, did Dad tell you to lie to me? And I said, yeah. And that stuff like that suppressed in my memory for 20 years.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
you know
that's
what?
so. That's dysfunction. That's dangerous. That's dirty. It's dysfunctional.
Oh, no.
I understand. I mean, I never had that exact experience, but yeah, I there was a lot of dysfunction in my family. My father cheated on my mom, and then he got divorced. He was cheating on my mom with his partner, who was his police officer partner. and then they ended up those two ended up getting married, and then my stepmom ended up cheating on him multiple times with multiple different men, and it just created this terrible environment of like mistrust and dysfunction, and it's bad. It's bad stuff.
The funny thing about it is that my parents eventually got back together and they stayed together. And I just found that amazing, because my mom, she just, I guess she was just so, loyal to my father at that point that she did not want to leave him. It's more like, to me, I describe it more as a desire not to lose something you already had.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the MGTOW guys, they have really terrible horror stories about these women who are just totally disloyal to them. And the thing is, I have just the opposite to tell. And even though I'm nominally a MGTOW, I don't have that kind of story. It's more like the fault is on the man's side in this case.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that men are perfect, not by any stretch. They definitely in many ways, I think MGTOW men are men that are fighting this double battle, where we're not just fighting evil women or women who are misbehaving, but we're fighting also men who are misbehaving. Like I said, or like you said, your father was cheating. That's not going to help you,
Okay.
And then he's instructing you to lie to your mom. That's not going to help you.
No, it isn't. But okay, let me say in his defense, my mom is the most stubborn woman on the face of the planet, or was the most stubborn woman. And I can understand, because I've had to deal with her personally, why he would be driven away. And that's the thing that my mother just never got. She just could not understand that you gotta give a man his space, and that's something that she never understood. Yeah, and I felt it personally, because when she lacked it from my father, she took it out on me.
Sure. Right. No, I agree. I experienced some of the same stuff. As I said at the very beginning of my stream, the shit rolls downhill, if you've ever heard that term.
And despite that, it's, I don't know whether my mother could have been pleased or not. My father, who was what he was, and the thing is, like, I don't blame him for who he was, but the thing is, like, I could definitely fault him for cheating on my mom, but it's, I just don't, I don't understand the weaknesses. At the time, I didn't understand the weaknesses that men have when it comes to cheating on a woman.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never been married. I guess I don't have any evidence. I surmise that, if I were to have gotten married, almost immediately afterwards, or maybe past the initial honeymoon period, I think maybe what develops is this period of like, oh no, like, I'm stuck. Like, this is the only person I am to fuck now forever. And I think that happens to a lot of people, and they get scared, they get anxious, they become unhappy, they become resentful, they end up stepping out on their marriage.
Okay. Cowboy, I want to say this to the guys out there, as well as you, is that if you find a woman who you can have an enjoyable sexual experience with, trust me, you will not find that, something better with someone else. Because you know what, my ex and I, we had wonderful sexual experience with each other. So there was nothing lacking as far as that was concerned. I would never recommend cheating on a woman who you had great sexual experience with. It's just it's senseless to even think that.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess in a way, maybe I would disagree with you there. I think that my experiences, I'm somewhat of a man whore. I've had I'm just being honest. I've had many experiences. Um, I don't know. They're pretty interchangeable. Sex is pretty interchangeable. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
At this
I mean,
point, it's pretty mechanical. If you ask
I'm
me.
not saying this as a judgment against you or any other man out there. I'm saying this as that if you can find a woman who you're really compatible with sexually, and in other spiritually, I mean, you're not going to find any better, really. So having multiple sexual partners is just, to me, is just uh, you're just being I'm at a loss for words right now, but I think it's just looking for something that really isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think you're right. I think you're right. It's something to aim for. I just think that increasingly in our society, the way things are now, it's impossible. It's too hard to look for, and even if you get it, it's too hard to maintain. Um, at this point, I don't advise any young man to get married. So,
No, marriage is absolutely off the table. This is why
well, but that's what you just said, though. If you could find some woman and sexually, you're compatible, then it's not going to get any better than that. It's like, well, then what do you do? Then you marry that woman.
That's the problem.
What is marriage? I mean,
the problem is the fact that they can destroy your life. That's the problem.
right. Well, I mean, ultimately, the problem is they do destroy your life. It's not even that they can. It's statistically, you're more likely to be destroyed by the power that the state has granted upon them than not. So,
Right.
which just gets back to female nature, which really just means that, given the chance to fuck you over, women are gonna fuck you over. It's that simple. That's actually the biggest red pill I've ever swallowed. I mean, women.
Well,
women are essentially all sociopaths and narcissists. And I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah, that's a sad thing. The thing is, I have a so-called Chad, as a friend. I'll tell you, the stories he tells me are beyond belief. Even when he was in his teenage years, he had women paying him money as a gigolo.
Wow.
Yes, leaving $200 on the desk next to him when they woke up and left. They it's amazing that he could tell me these stories, that that they would leave him money on the table next to him when he woke up, $200. And this was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So I couldn't even imagine what it was. I mean, he had the perfect looks, the perfect physique, all the things, the attitude, the charm, the charisma, and
the swag. He had swagger.
Yeah, he was all that. And the thing is, like, he told me these fantastic stories, and the thing is, I know he wasn't making them up because he just couldn't. And when you look at the guy, you understand why, especially his younger photos. He's a few years younger than me now, but you can understand why the women would approach him in droves. So the black pill, to me, is accurate as far as rather than the red pill, because he is living proof of it, proof of that.
Yeah, no, I understand the black pill, and the black pill, it has a lot of I would say it has a lot of validity, but I worry that black pill ultimately means that you fall into a pit of despair and you fall into nihilism.
So what?
I think red pill. What's that? I'm sorry.
So what? I mean, look, I'm an average fellow as far as I'm concerned. I'm an average, maybe even above average. You know, I could be that. If I got jacked, yeah, definitely I would definitely fall definitely above average. But even so, I understand that, you know, I'm only going to be attracted to so many women because I'm only 5.5 feet tall. You know, and
You're 5'6".
5'6", yep, 5'6", 5'7" at
Oh,
most.
okay. Oh man, so
And
you're a short fuck.
yeah, I'm a runt. You know, a runt
You're a
compared.
runt.
but in spite of that, I was several women who
You
were
were
very attractive.
able to get something spicy.
Oh yeah, and you know, my ex Puerto Rican girlfriend was one of them, and people described her as gorgeous, you know, especially when she got dolled up, you know.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and so I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
I'm one of those, I guess, above average fellows, you know, as long as I'm not overweight and all that crap, you know. And the thing is, but the thing is, the black pill is, to me, you know what? uh, I understand what Undead Chronic says, that they're depressive people, but that's not, that to me, that's not right. That's not the right view of it. The view of it is to recognize reality in physique, you know. And so yes, okay, so I am. That doesn't mean you have to be depressed about yourself. Yes, let's say I'm a sub 5. Okay, fine, big deal, you know. And no matter how jacked I get, it's not going to help me that much. So um, I just recognize that, okay, that's just reality and the end of it, and I just, you know, pursue my hobbies or something that I like. That's the way the black, it's to live alone and love it, because you know that the guys who are married, especially in 2021, are for the most part miserable. You don't want that.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, at this point, listen. See, let me just say it, man. Like, again, I like to use the word catharsis. If you don't know what the word catharsis means, look it up. Here's what's going on. The times have changed so dramatically. It's like taking your hand and flipping it from one side to another. One side, you got your palm up. Next thing, you get the palm down. It's still your hand, but it's like a 180. Society has totally changed. Women used to not have equal rights to men. Now women have equal rights to men. Women actually have more rights than men now.
They have more rights to men, because you know what? In the past, they claimed that the man could leave a woman and without consequence. That's a lie. That's not true. Because if they left a woman without any legitimate reason, they would be penalized somehow by the law for that.
Well, I I've gotten to the point now. I advise men, don't. I mean, don't get married. I just hire pros. I just had a pro a couple days ago, and it's nice. I help her out, and she has a cell phone bill, and I help her out, and
Well, you know, Cowboy.
and then she's gone, and then I'll see her next month.
Right, exactly. You know, Cowboy, I used to do that until I was 50, and then I gave it up. Why? I'm not sure exactly, because the last one I was with, first of all, a lot of them are dirty. You don't want that. Even the ones you thought they would be clean, they're not that clean. And you're like, why didn't you take a shower before you saw me? Because you know how I feel. You know, all that shit. Uh, Trust me, they're not worth it.
Okay.
That and when I was 50, when I turned 50, I gave them up.
So you're a total monk now.
Oh, for 7 years, basically my best lover's my right hand.
Ha ha ha.
I'm just being honest. That's just the way it is.
You have any kids?
Unfortunately, no. But I did want a family at one point, especially with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
You said unfortunately no. Is it fair to say? So you're 57 years old. You regret not having a son?
I neither regret it nor not regret it. I mean, it's
I mean, you just used the word unfortunately, which would lend,
right.
that's a statement of judge. That's a word of judgment.
Well, it
You're
is.
saying you do regret it.
You're right, because the fact of the matter is, every man wants to have. It's just a natural order to be able to pass that legacy on. I don't even like the word legacy, but pass your genes on to another generation, and that that there's somebody out there who has a part of you inside of them that's going to pass that on. Now, I understand that. The thing is, like, is it worth it in this day and age? My judgment is absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. It's rough. It's rough out there. I see it all the time. So, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna close up this interview with you. Do you have any closing statements? You don't have a channel by any chance, do you?
No, it's just this YouTube channel, and I used to have another channel, but it would probably be banned by YouTube by now, and based on my
Okay.
comments. So I mean, I was all over the map when it comes to comments, but my closing statements is more like, and I know you had a commemoration for invention. Invention, was I
Yeah.
followed it for years also, and I'm sorry to hear of his passing. The thing is, like, he never got, well, maybe partially he got to enjoy his retirement, but not enough as far as I'm concerned.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that. Like, just the whole story is like, nice guy from small town USA, joins the military, struggles to find himself, finally finds himself, gets into a trade, works hard, discipline, all that, works hard, saves his money, and then it blossoms. It blossoms into something beautiful. He did his research. Oh wow, I don't know if you could hear that. Can you hear the tires squealing outside?
yes, I can.
Oh wow, there's someone outside who's really being annoying right now. Okay.
It's
Oh,
not affecting your audio.
no, not at all. I just think that guy's probably got a small dick. But anyway, so yeah, no, I'm sorry to finish that idea. Like, he was so wow. Wow, man, amazing. Okay, he was so wise with his investments, and he literally turned into like a multi-millionaire, and it just would have been better. The story it would have been such a better story if he just became like this eccentric billionaire. Let's say millionaire. If he became this like eccentric multi-millionaire, traveling the world and hooking up with all types of young hot chicks and still promoting the MGTOW lifestyle, and it just ended so poorly. What if he got that surgery? He could have made it to 70. Who knows?
I was wondering about that holistic thing. You know what? The surgery was definitely the way to go for him.
Yeah, but he wouldn't listen to nobody. And who's gonna fucking who? Yeah, I know. And they say hindsight is what 2020.
Right. Well, it happens what it happens. Now we know better. Those who have heard it.
Yeah, yeah, and if you remember in some of his very last videos, he openly admitted that he was like, I regret it. I regret it. I should have opted for the surgery immediately.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
knows? It could have bought him
Actually,
an extra. What's that?
the
I'm sorry.
the funny thing is that and I'm not sure how irrelevant this is, but the scripture points that out, saying like, if it's bad, cut it out, right? So maybe that was the best method at first,
The thing is, now I followed him extensively. I followed him very closely. I remember his very first videos. Um, he caught it relatively early, early enough where he could have actually completely cut it out using surgery. It started, I think it started on his, I can't remember if it started on his liver or his colon. I think it started on his colon.
Right.
And it was just, now it had gotten big though. It had gotten, I think at one point, it had gotten to the size of basically like a golf ball. Okay. And, but it had not yet metastasized. It had not yet spread. And since it was localized, basically what I'm trying to say is there was in fact a time window where he could have nipped it in the bud. Who knows what would have happened? No one knows. We don't know. But it seems to me that he did not. I don't know. I embrace Western science. When they say surgery, maybe I think he should have just cut the damn thing out. That's what I think. So,
well, the thing is, like, you don't know whether they even discovered it on his liver yet. So it may not have mattered, although that probably would have been the best procedure regardless,
Yeah. Have you ever had a colonoscopy?
Oh, hell no. In fact, the only operation I've ever had was an appendectomy a few years ago. And, just to take my appendix out because it got clogged. And that was it. I mean, I'm a very healthy person,
What's your weight?
Right now it's, it must be between 170, 180, and I'm 5'6". I think 5'6", 5'7". So I'm
you're a pretty good weight for your height.
a little bit overweight. I would say definitely overweight.
You could say lose 10 pounds, but you don't have to lose 100. I mean, you're
I would say 20 pounds, but yeah. To me, the ideal would be for me to lose 20 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have small bones. That's because
you have small bones.
Right. I have small bones. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you one last question, then I'll let you go. So you're 5'6". That is a little short for the male side of things. Would you say that you experienced a lot of I don't know what to say. A lot of discrimination, rejection from women.
It's hard to say because you don't know what's in the minds of the other person standing across from you, right? So I would say, when I did experience, I'll say this much: when I did experience a woman that was an attractive woman that was generally attracted to me, it came as a surprise.
Okay.
All right. So there was this. I mean, I remember this one time I was, working a job, and I encountered this petite, beautiful blonde in a restaurant, and she was genuinely attracted to me. There was no mistake. And and to me, I was just so timid of the whole situation at the time that I just didn't pursue it. And so I screwed it up. I screwed it up there as far as that. And then there was another time when I was much older, when I was having lunch with a coworker, and there was this woman who was well endowed in the upper torso area. She was definitely attractive, definitely much younger than I was, and she was looking at me, and I looked at her, I said hi, and I ordered my meal. And then we went to sit down. I didn't think two thoughts of it until I looked over in her direction. She had this little girl with her, which I assumed was her daughter.
Sure.
Right. And she gave me the flirtiest look, and I was like, "Oh, this is strange."
Yeah, no, it could have been her time of month, and you're the perfect baby daddy, and she knows you got a job, so steady paycheck coming in.
Exactly. And I thought about it. I was wise enough to think about it for a minute. Why the hell is she paying attention to me? Because to me, I'm not all that attractive. That's just my own self perception, And so then I realized, oh, she's got a girl with her. She just wants a baby daddy to take care of her.
Pay
And
half
so,
the bills. Yeah.
right, exactly. And so I ignored her. And then when she left, she came up behind me and she put her hands on her hips and she let out this big sigh, like, why aren't you responding to me? Because I'm
Right.
right. And my coworker noticed it and he looked at her and he was like, what the hell is going on here? You know, and after she left, I told him about the situation, and then he understood. But that was the last time that I had, and that was like 5 years ago. And I'm that was when I was like 52. I was like, wow, even in my 50s, I can attract a woman who's like 30 years
Yep.
younger than me that
Yep.
would do
Yep.
that. Yeah, I
Keep
couldn't
yourself.
believe
I
it.
say it all the time. Keep yourself in good shape. Stay employed. You
Mhm.
know.
Well, that can happen to a guy, but the thing is, like, the truth is, it's a trap.
Yes, of course. That's why you don't get married. Obviously you saw through that because you never got married.
Well, that's the thing, and the thing is, like, my torrid relationship with my ex girlfriend was more like I finally admitted to her that I was afraid, and when I did that, I just broke down, and I says, "Look, I'm
Oh,
afraid."
brother.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's the reality was I was afraid that she would not love me back.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
You know?
See, my problem is I just don't love women anymore. Like, um, do you remember a guy? Do you remember a singer? He was real famous. He was I think he was blues. BB King.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, you remember BB King? Yeah, he was real famous in the '60s and the '70s. Um, he's got a good song. I think it's called "The Thrill Is Gone." I recommend any MGTOW go and watch that, or go and listen to that song. He talks all about it. Basically, this. It's biology that does this to us, and it comes on, and it comes on strong, and it leads us to, drop our defenses and to pursue the woman and to, all that stuff that we want to do with the girls, and then it slowly fades away, and then at the end of the song, he just talks about how he's totally disenchanted with the opposite sex, and he just wants to live his life, without constantly being encumbered by the so-called fairer sex.
Oh, you know what? I gotta listen to that song again. What's the name of it again?
Oh yeah, yeah. Look it up. It's called "The Thrill Is Gone." The the
Thrill is Gone.
the Thrill Is Gone. The Thrill Is Gone by BB King. And let me give you one other song before I send you on your way. Have you ever heard of a female artist called Sade?
Oh, sure, Sade. What was that famous song she made? Um, I can't remember it, but it is many years ago.
Pretty much every song she has is amazing and wonderful. What I recommend is people go and watch probably her single most famous song, which is called "Smooth Operator."
Smooth Operator, right? That's it.
Yeah, make sure to watch that. Don't just listen to the song. Watch the video. The video is extremely MGTOW. It basically shows this alpha male, white, young, tall, yuppie, urban, educated guy, and he's just killing it. He's cutting deals. He's cutting $1 million deals. All the girls want him. The girls, he's so attractive. he doesn't even have to do any work. He
Right.
doesn't even have to seek women out. They actually they come to him, and it just shows the lifestyle.
That sounds just like my friend, my current friend, who
Yeah.
he had attraction for women since he was get this, 12 years old, and and it's never relented since then.
Right. And it's it's a cursing. It's a cursing and a blessing. I mean, it's a curse and a blessing.
eh,
Um,
it's mostly a blessing because he got away scot-free with everything because he never had to
no,
pay a dime in child support, all
I
that.
was just about to say. I was just about to bring up child support. I know horror stories. Here's another quick story. I'm sorry to keep you so long, but
No, no, no,
here's
no.
another
I'm interested in this. I got
here's
nothing to
here's another quick story. True story. True to life. True to life. There's a guy I know. When I first met him, we were coworkers. He eventually became my boss, and I made a video about him. Nice guy, very very alpha in his physique, tall. I'm 5'10", and I purposely wear boots. I wear a cowboy hat and I wear boots, and with the boots, I rightly hit that 6 foot mark with the hat. I'm 6'1", 6'2", I don't know, whatever. I would not say that I'm short. I'm 6'10" and a half. You know, with no shoes on. I consider myself average height. I put the boots on, I'm above average height. This guy's like 6'2", 6'3", maybe, tall, white, brown hair, kind of a light brown hair, good physique. His musculature is very, very well developed. He is very much what you would call an alpha male. But in a way, it did not work out for him. It did. It did. He got a lot of ass, but the problem is he got a lot of women pregnant. And now he's a MIT. He's a manager in training over at my old job. And what has he got? I think he's got 5 kids by 4 different women. He's paying child support on 3 of them. He's going to be paying child support. He's my age, or I think he's 1 year younger. He's going to be paying child support until he's 60. I mean, or maybe not 60, 54 or something like that. The point is, he will not even get to the point where he can start to save money like I'm saving money for another 2 decade and a half. Who?
Well, that's his problem. I mean,
that's his problem. It's a curse and a blessing.
Well, I mean, assuming my Chad friend, he also has a daughter outside of his marriage. The thing is, he lucked out. I told him he didn't dodge a bullet, it missed him entirely, and he didn't even notice because he just got lucky. And
yeah, well, sometimes you just get lucky.
Right, he got lucky, and the thing is, oh wow. The advice, before I go, I want to say that the advice I would give to young men is, if you're going to marry a woman, God forbid, make sure that she's attracted to you first. Don't ever approach a woman because it's just not worth it. Because if you're attracted to a woman first, they just ignore you. They don't give a shit about you. But if she's attracted to you and she lets you know it, guess what? You're going to have an in with her. But even so, to marry her, I'm not saying lead her on or anything like that. I don't recommend that, especially a virgin. If she's a virgin, I mean, I'm with Undead Chronic and Ribby on this. They are right. She needs to be a virgin because my ex was a virgin too, and she'll be loyal to you. The chances that she won't be loyal to you are very small compared to
much lower. Yeah, and as we have basically proven this through science, we know for a fact that after about the third or fourth sexual partner, women, they lose the ability to produce this pair bonding hormone.
Right.
I'm sorry, what is it called again?
Pair
Norepinephrine.
I'm not sure what the chemical, assuming there is a chemical.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No. It's definitely. Oh yeah, no. It's definitely chemical. It's really very sad. I mean, men and women are different. They say we're totally the same, and there is no difference between men and women.
It's a total lie.
And you should just cut your balls off and put a dress on and all that bullshit. No. The real truth is there are very distinct and measurable differences between the male and the female, and that is one of them. A man can have
I mean,
a partner.
I'm sorry, Cowboy, but the fact that we even have to say this in this modern era is ridiculous. I mean, it's always been different for men and women. I mean, a man.
I know. I agree.
A man comes inside of a woman. I mean, I'm not saying cum. I'm saying COMES. He comes inside of a woman. That's look. You know, the seed goes inside her, not inside the man. So there's no residual effect coming from the man's, on the man's side. It comes always on the woman's side. If she can't understand that she's got a serious problem with reality, and that's due to leftist brainwashing, as far as I'm concerned. I've read many books on brainwashing. One I would recommend, which is a really old book, is called The Psychology of Totalism, and the Brainwashing and the Psychology of Totalism. I'm not sure if that's
is that Fritz Springmeier?
No, it's by Jay. I forgot his name. But it's in 1950s. It was about a study, especially the most interesting part of that book was the center was with the Chinese subjects who were subjected to the Chi-Com's brainwashing techniques during the 1950s. And the most interesting part were the Chinese subjects, not the European subjects, but the Chinese subjects.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, John, I have the book right here. I just have to get up and get it, but I don't think it's worth getting up and get for.
All right. Well, I guess I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you all around. I've never spoken to you before. Now I feel like I have a much deeper sense of who you are. So I very much appreciate. Obviously you checking in, but also calling.
Well, thanks, Cowboy. I mean, I try to keep a low profile. I mean, I'm not the most interesting person compared to, like, especially Taylor the Fiend. I love his videos, by the way.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, I know that guy. I've been listening. He's kind of new for me, going on less than 3 or 4 months. I keep checking him on MGTOW.tv. It looks like his caricature, his avatar is like an elfy looking
He's a vampire. Yeah. I mean, to me, his template is to assume, and which I find really, refreshing, is to assume that the woman is always lying.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry to say that. Listen, I'm only 37. I'm telling you, it has gotten to the point. Imagine, my name is Joseph, and I get up in the morning, and I go and live my life. I put on a cowboy hat almost every day, at least the days that I don't work, and I wear boots. And people judge you, by again, you said it yourself, how tall you are. I was talking to Lord Hybrid. They judge you by your skin color, by your religion, by your height, your age, everything. it's gotten to the point now. I wear a cowboy hat, and I do it for a reason. People treat you differently when you wear a cowboy hat. Trust me.
Oh, and
I want,
there's a
sorry.
certain there's got to be a certain respect for that stature, because you know what? Who wears cowboys hats in these days? You know, I mean, other than Texans.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, actually, a lot of people. I mean, here in Chicago, Mexicans. I would say at this point, 9 out of 10 people that wear cowboy hats in Chicago are Mexican,
Okay.
unless you're in the South. If you're in like Oklahoma, you know, or Florida or Texas, maybe, then it's more common. But yeah, here up north, here in Chicago, it's almost distinctively a Mexican thing. But yeah, it really sends a. It really it. I don't know how to put it. I wear a cowboy hat every day out in public, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I recommend this for anyone. It just for fun, just as an experiment. I fell in love with it. My father, when I was 30 years old, bought me this cowboy hat. And he said, "Joe, I want you to start celebrating your Mexican heritage." I said, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." He's like, "No, I'm serious. If I buy you this expensive cowboy hat, you gotta wear it, and you gotta wear it every day. Don't just wear it in the house. Wear it outside." And I did what he said. I felt naked. I felt I don't know how to describe how I felt. I felt ashamed and full of fear. And there was again, it's a catharsis. You go through a catharsis, and you're like, wow, you can totally change how you look, how you feel about yourself. Now I wear it all the time. And let me tell you something honestly, no bullshit. When you walk into a room, when you walk into an elevator, when you walk into a bar, and you're the only man wearing a cowboy hat, trust me, everyone takes notice of you. It's like holding a big sign that says, "Everyone, look at me." Kinda like,
It depends. You know, if you're comfortable in it, that's great. You know, because people realize, oh, this guy, that's his normal garb. You know, and
yeah,
the thing in New York, I with a New York accent, I could never get away with a shit like that.
yeah, right. I mean, isn't there some guy called the Naked Cowboy over in your city?
Oh, you know, I've actually seen this fellow on the streets, and he wears freaking like a diaper, or I don't know what.
Underwear. He wears
Yeah,
like underwear
and he
with a
wears a cowboy hat.
six string
Yeah,
and a cowboy hat.
he's in like Midtown, somewhere around Times Square or something like that. And
He moves around. But his gig is like he's got like a cowboy hat, and he wears like underwear, like tidy whities, and he's got a six-string guitar, and he just goes around, and he's been on TV. Everyone knows who he is.
you know, that's a funny thing. You know, the women, you know, Chronic really recently posted an old video, which I never knew existed, of the actors who play, let's say, Gaston in Disney.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, right? And Gaston, you know, it's got to be a jacked fellow, right? And these women, some of these women would have to place, you know, just couldn't help themselves, supposedly, place their hands on his chest, on his pectorals, and which was a sexual act, you know.
Oh, you know what they say: no pecs, no sex. You know.
Well, of course, he told her to get lost immediately, and she didn't understand it. You know, he says, and his final answer was, "There's children," and he's right. You know, it's like, look, look, start behaving like a decent woman. These women today have to behave like ladies. If we don't,
No.
if we don't hold them
No.
to that standard, then
No.
okay,
No, see, you're
okay.
wrong. You're wrong. Wrong. They're not ladies. We ought get rid of that term lady. I mean, the lady, you know where that term comes from. I mean, you're right. I'm listening to what you're saying, but like, I mean, it's all just brainwashing, man. The term lady comes from that's all slavery shit. Kings and queens and a princess and
Oh, bullshit.
once upon a
They
time
had
there were 3 little elves and we're all going to live happily ever after. A lady, you know what the male equivalent of a lady is? A lord. That's all slavery shit. We need to get rid of this whole concept of the word lady. Women are animals, and I'm just gonna say it. They're below men. They
Well,
are below.
what's better, to be a lady or an animal?
That's what I'm saying. There's no such thing
Right.
as a lady.
Right, there isn't
You know,
anymore.
if you're really good, if you're really good, you're a woman. Even if you're not, you're just a female. I know it sounds terrible. I just don't worship women anymore.
No, and you know what? That's the thing is, I tell, oh God, Cowboy, you're bringing back memories that I used to be such a white knight when I was younger, and I totally the opposite what I am now. And a lot of men have to come to that conclusion because you know what? You will meet such extreme opposition from these what we call blue pill men, and that's the problem.
It's
Is
just
that
brainwashing.
they just don't understand. It's not.
They
It's
just don't
to me,
understand.
well, to me, it's the natural way for a man to treat women with honor and respect. And the thing is, a lot of them don't deserve that nowadays.
It's just a progression of development. The man starts out believing that the woman is as honorable as the man is, and then over time he realizes women are, they're bad. They're scheming, scamming, plotting, backstabbing.
Really sad.
Frankly, they're very terrible people.
Oh my God!
But
When I came to, I had over years. I came to the slow realization of this, and it just totally depressed me beyond belief.
it is depressing. Again, I talk about it all the time. It's very depressing, but you can push through that, and I talk about the term of catharsis, and then you like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You could become a new type of person. Essentially, you need to become a sociopath. Now, not an actual sociopath, not like a prime. No, I'm serious. Hey, it's funny, but it's not funny. My father lost millions of dollars in his first divorce. It's not funny.
No,
I
it
had
isn't.
to transfer. I had to transfer from a tier 1 university to a tier 2 university because Daddy didn't have enough fucking money to give me to go to college, even though I had excellent grades, because my mom stole everything. It's not funny, but man, see, what kills me inside is that what really grinds my gears is that we don't teach young men, we don't teach the young guys this information. We cast them out, we throw them out and just say good luck. If we just gave them a little bit of good if we just gave them a little bit of good advice, like we should be teaching this in high school. We should be teaching MGTOW type ideas in high school, because then these, half these kids, they go out into college, 10 years later, they fuck around, or maybe they meet a girl, maybe they get married, maybe they just knock her up. Now they're out of college, they got some bullshit job. Now they're paying child support. Now they're stuck in that system. They got child support, they got college loans, and then they're a slave. And I don't want them to be. I want them to be like me. I'm 37, no debt, no kids, no wife, no mortgage. I just paid my even my car's paid off. I just paid my phone payment. It's $56 with tax. It's my biggest bill of the month.
Well, I mean, you're way ahead of the game than I am. 20 years earlier, and you know what, Cowboy, if you continue with that, Joe, then you're going to be near a millionaire by the time you retire. I recommend retiring at 55. 55.
I was just about to say, I plan on retiring at 60. You got these guys working till 64, 66, 68. That's ridiculous. You should, at that, God, don't even get me started. It's crazy.
The problem is that what, you get maximum Social Security at 62 when you retire no later than 55. So if you, let's say, stop paying into it at 55, guess what? You're still getting maxed at 62.
Okay, I don't know much about that. I mean, do you? I mean, I'm
57 right now.
I'm sorry to keep you so long. if you want to take another 5 minutes right now and just talk about that, because I don't know anything about that. I'm not anywhere near retiring. I'm a full decade and a half off.
This is what I've
Do you
learned.
feel like talking about that, about retirement and?
Right. Now don't retire before you're 55. That's what my recommendation is, because from what I've understood from Social Security, you will get full Social Security even if you retire, at 55 or later. So even if you retire at 60, let's say you retire at 55, you will still get the same amount of money at 62 from Social Security if you retire 7 years earlier than that. But earlier than 55, you're going to get a little less. So 55 is the cutoff age as far as getting max SS.
I thought the minimum was like 62, and then every single year you go above that, you get a larger percentage,
You
and then
do.
it caps
You
off
do.
at like 66 or 67 or
What,
blah, blah, blah,
what,
blah, blah, blah.
what I'm saying is that you do cap off. You can get maximum Social Security at 70 years old, but you will get more per month. In other words, if you wait till 65, 63, 64, although every year you wait, you will get a little bit more. But if you want to retire at 55 and you want to start collecting at the earliest age of Social Security, 62 is the earliest you can collect it. Therefore, but you cannot retire earlier than 55 years old in order to get the maximum Social Security from that 62-year age.
So you can't even start collecting until you're 62.
Correct.
So then why do you say retire at 55? Because then there's a 7-year gap between those two numbers.
Yeah, but you have 5, 6, 7 years to enjoy your life without having a boss over you.
What are you going to do for money?
Well, you live off whatever savings you had over that time.
Aha.
And you know what?
Okay.
And not only that, but your 401k at 59 years old, you get to take from that without penalties. So yes, you have to pay your taxes if it's not a Roth IRA, but you still have to you can still take from it without penalties starting at 59 years old. You'd have to.
This is why I've become so like anti-government. Like I don't, oh, you gotta wait till this, you gotta wait till that, or all this regulation.
Well, you know what? You just have to educate. It doesn't take long to educate. To me, I heard about this through other people, and I investigated it. And I asked, my 401k, which is my what is it? My brokers, and they say, yeah, at 59 you can withdraw from your 401k without penalty. Although you do have to pay the taxes if it's not a Roth IRA.
Okay. I think I'm going to go in an entirely different direction. I'm sorry to sound so conspiratorial in my thinking, but
No, go ahead.
I don't like how I plan on doing what basically both my grandparents did, or I guess all of my grandparents on both sides is what I should say. They got into real estate, and yeah, they had small. One of them had like a small pension, and but all of them basically got into real estate here in Chicago, and like for example, my Mexican grandfather, upon his death, may he rest in peace, of course. He owned 2 houses, 3 gas stations, a laundromat, I don't know, a 2-flat. He owned a number of businesses. On my German side, my German grandfather was the first to pass, and then my German grandmother was the last to pass. Upon her death, they had accumulated 6 multi-unit investment properties. they didn't need any of this shit. Oh, how's your 401k doing? Is the market up? It's like, no, it doesn't matter. As long as people are paying their rent. If they don't pay their rent, you kick them out. You hire the Cook County Sheriff's Department. You hire the Sheriff's Department, you kick them out, and then you bring in some new people. And they did it that way. I'd say that they did better than most people.
Yeah, but in the past, yeah, that was the case.
Well, I don't claim to know how things are today. I just think that I think increasingly we live in this like this closed system. We live in like a prison planet. They sell us the 401k. I don't think that's the road to freedom.
No,
I think what Lord Hybrid was talking about is the real road to freedom. You still want to own your own property. You still want to own your own business. That's that's where I'm at.
well, the problem with owning property is that you have to pay taxes on it, and it depends on the area which you are. Now, if you have low property taxes, fine, that's great. But if you still have to generate an income, which means you have to rent it out, and that means you have to trust the renters to pay not only you, but also upkeep your property to a decent level. Otherwise, to me, I've rented for 20 years in my same, little flat I have here in New York. I've always fixed the toilet on my own. I never charged my landlady. I tell her.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Multiple at this point. Where I'm living. Or I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been
Sure,
drinking.
go ahead.
Let me let you finish that thought. So go ahead.
Oh, all right. See, whenever her daughters, I says, look, they had a blockage recently in the lower bathtub in my landlady's apartment who recently died. And so I'm staying here, basically, until I can move out. So they had a blockage. So every time I would take a shower, the water would collect in their tub and would maybe overfill until I said, okay, let me try something up here, see if that will work. I put Drano in there, and you know what? A couple hours later, I drained it with hot water, and it cleared the tub. So, that was entirely my own doing. So, and also not only that, but also changing the I don't even know what they call it, the thingamajig in the toilet bowl that fills it up with water, the and I did that on my own. I didn't even think about charging my landlady. I says, yeah, here's what you owe me, which $5. I don't give a shit about $5, or even the hour it took me that it took me to change it. If you have good tenants like that who don't give a shit about that, who care about, then that's great. But if you don't have good tenants, that's the problem.
Well, I always say it. It's people that make the difference. In the end, it's always people that make the difference. That's been my experience as well. I have had few problems, but I've had a couple problems. I've always had problems that I can fix myself. There was one time I had to call not the landlord, but like the superintendent guy. He had to come in with a snake, and he had to what's it called, like clear the front sink. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to get rich. As I get older and older, I realize how goddamn hard it is. And I've just become so anti-government because of it. Because I think most of the problems at this point that the average human in the world faces is not from racism or thisism or thatism. It's the government. It's your own government that's like coming in, putting in all these restrictions on you, and they're just.
Cowboy, I always bypass that. To me, it never bothered me what the government decrees or anything. I just go and do it. Let's say I have an assault rifle. Let's say I do have an assault rifle.
Yeah, but you just said it yourself. No. Let me interrupt you.
Okay, sure.
You just said it yourself. Why do you have to pay taxes on your own property? If it's your property, you should not have to pay taxes. essentially, if you think about it, it's not your property anymore if you have to pay taxes on that property. You're just renting it from the government. That's not how it used to be.
No.
Never,
I don't pay taxes on property taxes. That's
because you don't own the property.
correct.
Right. But if you did own the property, then you would have to pay taxes. And it's like, what I'm seeing is a worldwide prison system that's being put in place, and they're selling it to us saying, oh yeah, we have to save the earth. We have to save the earth. Humans are a virus. You're all evil. Of course, we're not evil. Bill Gates, he's not going to admit to being evil. Even though don't even get me started. The point I'm trying to make is, increasingly, I think our biggest barrier, what's the word I want to use? The biggest problem that humanity faces is out of control growth of government. I don't promote the use of violence, but I think it could literally get to the point where the governments of the world just become so tyrannical that they will slowly take away our ability to exist. And so you're going to have to push back. You're going to have to get like grandmothers in the streets with like, pots and pans, throwing, what do you call those things? Those wooden rollers that they use to roll dough. We're going to have to see like old ladies with dough rollers in the streets, smashing heads of the police.
Well, to me, the problem is that there's really no political solution to this.
I agree. There is no political solution. That's what I'm saying.
However, to me, democracy, as people define it,
it's terrible.
It's one of the worst forms of government there is. And even though Winston Churchill said it's the worst form of government besides all the others, and I think that's a lie. I think Churchill was a liar to me, and I actually think he was a poltroon, but which means a coward.
He was a what? He was a what?
A poltroon. A poltroon is basically a coward, and he would. I mean, if you read some certain books about him and his behavior during the bombing of Britain in 1940, I think it was, after the French caved into the Germans, not that they had to cave in, but the bombing of Britain, he would pretend to be brave and stick it out in some areas, but instead he would flee to another. And this was brought out in books by David Irving, and I couldn't believe, because I actually, I know David Irving is regarded as a pariah now, but he actually did his own research and very thorough, in fact, in some of his, because he would interview the people who were actually involved in the situations. So yeah, they can't fault him as far as that is concerned, but they still regarded him as a pariah. But I'm getting off the subject. The thing is, like, he said that that, oh my God, I even lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Winston, World War II. Winston Churchill. He said he was with the people, but what he was?
No,
he was secretly deep down in the bunker, just protecting himself, running away, or what?
Right. But before that, it really has nothing to do with him. But it just got into a subject like that. But it's more like, I'm sorry, if you can jog my memory as far as what we were talking, what you mentioned just before that.
Well, we were talking about how the government. I was talking about how the government is the root of, at this point in human development, the government's the root of most of our problems now.
Great, you're right. Okay, now I remember. It's democracy. Now, the problem with democracy is that, and we're talking about universal suffrage. Now,
right,
universal. Right, exactly. Because if you don't have a stake in the government, in the country itself, in other words, you don't own property, you can vote yourselves, largesse from the
all the
government.
largesse, yeah,
Right.
large government largesse, right? That's what it's all about. And like, I have this idea that like, well, frankly, only people who own property should be able to vote.
Exactly.
And
Not only that, and the only people to me, it's like more like Starship Troopers that Robert Heinlein had.
only people who serve,
Oh,
people
only
who
people who
serve.
serve in combat units should be able to be elected on the federal level to decide foreign policy because only men can go to war.
Yeah, but then you're denying women
The
their
hell with them. They don't
equal
deserve a vote.
role in equally equalizing equality.
They don't deserve a vote if they can't be drafted into a combat units.
Well, they well,
That's
you
simple.
know,
It's simple
we got to
logic.
be honest though. They don't want that. They just want control.
Well, to hell with their control, what they want. They don't deserve it.
Ah,
Look, the Starship Troopers was absolutely accurate. Robert Heinlein was absolutely accurate. And who should be allowed to vote for foreign policy? And that's only people
those
who
who serve.
serve in combat units. Because
Well,
they
you didn't
like,
necessarily have to be in combat, but you have to serve in the military. And
no,
then the military, according to that movie, which I saw, which was a good movie, the military will screen you out. You know, there were some guys, like for example, I can't remember his name. He played Dookie Howser, the doctor, the teenage
right.
doctor boy.
He was the psychic.
He moved up into the intelligence. They plucked him out right away because of his high intelligence. They took him out of combat, and he became like a high-ranking officer very quickly. But the point is, yes, that only people who are willing to fight, only people who are willing to invest a certain level of themselves into the system ought to control the system. When now we're being told that illegal immigrants should be able. California openly says they should allow people who have come here illegally to just vote because because they want to vote and we should just give them money and what's wrong with
Yeah, sure. Okay,
and why
you
do
can
you
give
hate
them your
Mexicans?
money. I'll say, yeah, okay, you can give them your money.
No, but that's the game. See, that's the game. They don't want to give them their money. They want to give them your money.
Well, of course. I mean, come on. You know what? Like, sorry, Doc, but I need what little I've got, as Bugs Bunny said, right?
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you, what I'm thinking now is I'm just gonna start my own trucking company. I'm gonna move to the South and I'm gonna start selling crack. Lots and lots of crack to make extra money.
Come on, Cowboy, you don't want to do something illegal like that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I want to start my own company and move to the South because things have gotten so out of control. I mean, my sister, her husband, their two children, they moved to Denver 2 years ago. Right before they moved, I spoke with him briefly, and he was like, "Listen, Joe, eventually, you're all alone, but eventually you'll want to get yourself a place. Don't buy. Be very mindful of taxes." And he's a very wealthy financier. He makes like not even in the low six figs anymore. He may be approaching like mid six figures, maybe like probably making over 200K a year now. He's doing all right. He's a little bean counter. He's talking to me. Oh, Joe, I'm paying $6,000 a year in real estate taxes.
All right, boys.
In Colorado, I'll only be paying $3,000, and we got more space. So that's $3,000 over the course of 25 years. it's this much money, and I can take that money and reinvest it here, and we, you know, with compound interest and all this. And I get his point though. I get his point. Is like, if you're rich, you can afford to stay rich and live in a certain area. If you're like me, if you're on the make, it's better to move to a certain. I gotta get out of Chicago. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, you know what, Joe, let me just encourage you a little bit, because I've seen your, your small apartment, your small flat that you live in, and tell you what, I'm actually doing better than you as far as that, but it's not a big thing to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't get any worse than this. Have you seen how small my place is?
The thing is, like, are you in the black?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's all you need. Are you well in the black?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I need to be more well in the black. Yes, I'm a, yeah. But the thing is, it's
multiply
like,
that by
it's
15.
very, very scary to just make a move. I pay $575 a month in rent.
Guess what? I pay almost
that's my
double
single
that.
biggest bill. After
I
that, I got to feed myself.
right.
After that,
I pay almost
go ahead.
double.
I'm sorry.
I pay almost double in that, and yet you
Right,
probably
that's killing me. How could you be paying double that? You should have a mortgage at that point.
It's New York. I mean that's just the way it is. I mean, it's New York, But I'm looking to move out I'm looking to move out very soon. I mean, I'll be playing the
Yeah, but I
same.
mean, okay, but that's New York. I'm a trucker. I make $26 an hour.
Guess what? I make $24 an hour.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm paying 500, close to 500, and you're paying close to 1,000, are you paying double? To compensate for the standard of living? No,
No.
they're just fucking bending you over a barrel, and like,
Right. And I'm about ready to quit my job, and I'm going to force them to either increase my salary by at least 10% or 20%, or else they're still not going to have me anymore.
yeah,
That's it. Look,
right, see,
in this age, especially when you work I'm going to say this, if you work as a technician in the fire alarm business, you have to be ready to leave your job and force your employer says, if you want to keep me, you're going to have to greatly increase my salary, because they will never voluntarily, unless they're a big corporation, increase your salary by 1 red cent.
right,
And that's the sad fact of the matter. So yeah, I'm going to demand $30 an hour within the next couple of months. And if they don't give it to me, and guess what? They just lost themselves a 20-year experienced technician.
right, of that, season, yeah, and that's really how it is. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm fucked. I just see myself as like lucky, and maybe just a little bit smarter than average. I'm a little bit better educated than average. I'm a little bit taller than average. I had a father, so I come from a little bit better of a background than average, but it's still a struggle.
Oh, absolutely.
And
You know what?
I'm still afraid. I'm afraid.
You know what, Joe? I mean, you're doing actually, you're doing quite a bit better than I am. And so let me tell you. And I'm 20 years old.
Again, I'll just say it again. I only pay $575 a month, and that includes all utilities except for electricity, and that's another 25, 35 a month. That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
mine includes all utilities. So that there's a little bit. My utility is almost nothing anyway. What do I use? And then, so you're doing actually quite well for yourself. If if all you have to do. I mean, this is just more like words of encouragement to you, because you're doing the right thing. If you save your money in 20 years, you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right, or close to it. Yeah, that'll be worth like 700 grand, and that's my goal, man. Is to have a house paid off.
To me, I'm just poor white trash. to a lot of people, but except to my own family, I guess.
All right, all right, all right. Well, listen, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for calling. And again, you're John the Recluse, right?
Yeah, that's what I call myself here.
John the Recluse. Isn't a recluse someone who like is all quiet, like a hermit, stays away from everyone else, is antisocial, something like that?
Pretty much, yeah. I've always been that way my entire life because and now more than ever, I just can't stand being around people. I can't even stand getting in my car and getting on the road. Within 5 minutes, I'm already pissed off at somebody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I feel very similar. I just can't. I gotta stay away from large crowds. I can't. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. All right, all right, all right. Well, I'll leave it there. Any last comments? Words of encouragement.
Okay, only for
Plug
the
your
young.
channel. Anything. Anything.
No, there's no plug channels or anything. I just want to see to the younger fellas out there, even some to the older fellas who don't get it yet. Look, I mean, marriage is nothing but a business for women. It's their retirement plan. Don't do it. And I know that's a very sad facing of reality, but the problem is that you are a slave to them because the government forces you to be a slave to them. Don't
Sure.
don't allow them to have that type of power over you. In other words, you know what? To me, the most honorable, and I'm just saying honorable, is method is to be monk, like Messenger Rising used to say. And only because you don't want to ruin a woman's life. To me, you don't want to ruin another man's life by sleeping with his wife or whatever. To me, that's disgusting. I mean, people do that, but the fact of the matter is, you have to face. Let's say you have to face that higher power, that God, the God, and you want to avoid judgment in that way. I mean, don't be given to lawlessness, because God hates lawlessness. That's just my opinion, and it's I think it's sound.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All
All
right,
right. Well,
Joe.
I
Have a good night.
I guess I'll leave it at that, man. All right. Peace out. Peace out. Take care.
Yeah, same here, Joe. Take care.
All right. That was fun. Oh, all right, guys. If you guys want, I'm willing to do one more quick interview. That was who was that mofo? Who was that mofo? That was John the Recluse. John the Recluse. And again, gentlemen, I do ask. I apologize. I've been drinking. Well, from the very start. So I've been drinking for the last 3 hours. At this point, I'm a little drunk, but that's cool. I'm good to go for another one more interview. If you guys want to click on, I would love to take one more interview. And before that, I'm gonna go through some of these quotes here, some of these notes. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like a guest came on. Looks like a guest. Oh, it looks like it's Success Pool Endeavors. Success Pool Endeavors. I've been waiting a long time to talk to Success Pool Endeavors. So, all right. So I'm going to let in Success Pool Endeavors. Let's see how we do it here. Guests, participants, Success Pool, add to stream. Here we go. Success Pool coming in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay, I think
Hey Joe, how you doing?
Yeah, is this Success Pool Endeavors?
Yeah, just call me SCE.
SCE. Yeah, what's up, SCE? How's it going?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I remember whenever you used to call in or type into stuff on Ken's live streams. We're getting ready to go to Podbeam's podcast. Yeah, the whole thing about the whole global agenda and stuff like that. Black Wolf, me, Manic, the Manic Mechanic, Sir Yetus, Sydney, Craig, Father Note. We just got through doing a stream about 5 hours long. That was it ended just before I came over to this stream. But yeah, we Black Wolf and I, would like to get you on the stream sometime, just to have you as a guest. Maybe pop in a couple of your videos. If see if we can try to get a few more subs for you. I mean, if you're willing to do something like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that all sounds fun. So this is the first time I've had you on my live stream. Can you please introduce yourself, talk about yourself, plug your channel, and if you could you maybe tell us a quick story? Let's say you've got 10 full minutes. Can you introduce yourself and tell us how you came to the red pill, or how you came to MGTOW?
I've got like 2 minutes because Ken is getting ready to do a Podbeams podcast, and I usually meet him on his show like damn near every night or every other night. So I'm getting ready to go over there. So I don't really have a whole lot of time. I just wanted to jump on here real quick, just have a quick talk with you. And, I want to do this. Let me do this real quick for you. And
okay, let me try to add Kendall Rican to the stream. I don't know if it worked. I think it worked.
Hello.
Kendall
Yeah,
Rican,
I'm
are you
here.
there?
What's that? What's happening, cowboy? How you doing, man?
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Ken, man? It's great to hear from you.
Yeah, bro, man, I got your message out there in the community post, and you know me, man. I like to show love to everybody, and I just got it literally an hour and a half ago, and I wrote your message.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the live stream, and then I was like, let me drop out here, give a shout out to MGTOW Cowboy. What's happening, MGTOW Cowboy? How you doing, sir?
Yeah. No. Speaking of love, I saw your last video. I loved it. It was like a 2-minute. It was like a 90-second short of what's his name? Who's that evil character over at Facebook? It looked like he was a little marionette puppet.
Suckerface.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. Yeah, Zuckerberg. Yeah.
I call him Suckerface.
No, I understand. It's scary.
Yeah, man. But I want to keep it here very pithy, and I want to keep it very pithy. The way I see this thing with YouTube, I understand, man. Listen, we live in some difficult times. We are. I mean, the whole world is fucked up, and I don't want to get too much into it right now. But as for me as a content creator, the best thing that I can do, it goes to all tech. And the reason I'm still making videos, I'm still on MGTOW.tv, Odyssey, but I have the freedom to create videos, either Red Pill, the real Red Pill, and MGTOW Philosophy, because I got tired of getting strike or subscribers not able to comment on the videos, and they talk about, hey man, the comments. It's been quite some time that they raise comments. That even myself, when I write comments in different videos, they raise my shit. So
yeah, no, it happens. It happens all the time. It
all the
happens to
fucking
me
time. So
almost every day.
So the thing is that if we are really MGTOW, we understand one thing, that when it comes down to YouTube, pretty much is to promote shit. After that, we have to diverse our creativity and our philosophy and different alt tech platforms. We cannot be out here, because you have to realize one thing. The CEO of this platform is a chick, Susan Wojcicki. So me as myself as a content creator, especially Because I don't make videos about making donuts, or I make videos about fixing cars, or I make videos about cooking. I make videos about red pill and mental philosophy and what's going on in the world. That's my type
Sure.
of shit that I do. That's the shit that I do, and I don't have a qualm if something come out as crazy might sound. I'm gonna say it how it is. I don't give you a flying fuck how it is. I don't have no time for no community guidelines. I don't have no time for none of this bullshit. I really don't. I just want to go out there, express myself, and those who can agree with it, fine. If you disagree with it, fuck off. That's how the way it used to be out here in this platform, but no longer is the time for that. So I got these. We have these. When it come down to live stream, Podbean's a great place. Even though it's a membership that I pay for it, but I pay for it with my own pocket, and I'm fine with it because I can say anything. Anybody can call in. People from different parts of the world can call in and stuff like that, and they can express themselves however they want to fucking express themselves and shit like that. And make TV, I can put videos out there however I want to make videos out there, and I transform it to Odyssey. So the folks out there, you have to realize that this platform is no longer suitable for the content. I understand it's the second largest search engine in the world. The way you have to use it right now, right, is to promote. Besides that, you can make no content here. That's why I don't do it.
So, besides Google and besides YouTube, what's your number one site? Odyssey?
Well, my number one site for live stream, so you have to diverse. So for live stream, for me, it's called Podbean. It's called KDR Podbean live stream. I do a live stream almost every night. I'm your average man, just like you. I'm listening to you fellas. I work, 9 to 5 or stuff like that, and then late night, I have my beer, I smoke my marijuana, and I talk different topics and shit like that. Sometimes when I'm walking and do the walk and talk meditation, I put a live stream out there. But the site is Meta TV and Odyssey. Those two, Meta TV and Odyssey. And when I make a video with Meta TV, I convert it to Odyssey, and both of them. So let me tell you the thing as a content creator. And with Meta TV, you can have a man, who will give you a boost. A boost meaning they can donate $1 and you can get 50 cents for the dollar, but that goes back to the community, meaning that it goes back to pay the servers and the internet and shit like that. Or if a man want to donate $2 and stuff like that to put a boost in the video, that's great, because I understand that making videos is not free. If you think everything is free, it's not fucking free. Life is not free. All right. With Odyssey, well, as a content creator, you get rewarded by cryptocurrency, and that's another thing that people got to learn the game about cryptocurrency, how cryptocurrency works, and stuff like that. It's just very simple to do. All you got to do is do your own diligent research and understand how the game works, and especially as for content creator. I understand that both of those channels, it's small and stuff like that, but at least you have the freedom to express yourself. You don't have to worry about no community guidelines. You don't have to worry about no hate speech, because there's no hate speech. Let's be real. Let's be real with one another. There's no
such thing as hate speech.
There's no hate speech. But if you stay here, well, so anyone who stays here, and just give it a matter of time, man. YouTube right now, it's like TV. I stay away from YouTube. I really do. It has become TV. Too much fucking commercials, too much this, too much that. And when I do something, I do it for fun and giggles, nothing serious. But if I want to get into some serious shit and serious videos and serious stuff and express myself, well, I go to a different platform. You have to. And I also do a podcast once in a while. I haven't done it in quite some time, but I do a podcast, and look it up. It's KDR5 podcast. And I talk different issues and different topics and stuff like that. But when it comes down to even me as a how you call that, as a watcher for YouTube, it's not the same like it was 3-4 years ago. It's not.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not. It sucks. It really fucking sucks.
Okay. So I'm listening. I'm listening to everything you say, and I'm on my third. I'm on my fourth beer now. Where should I go right now? Okay. So I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch TV. I mean, I have it. I'm looking at my TV right now. It's off. I use it to play video games. I got a nice 42-inch TV, but I only use it to play video games or when I go online. Right now, let's say top 3 sites. Let's say, okay, number 1 would be like Google. Number 2 would be YouTube. Number 3 would be MGTOW TV. And then maybe number 4, would, a close second right behind MGTOW TV would be BitChute. Besides BitChute, where would you recommend all these young guys coming up or content creators? Where should we all move to? Like
okay, so is see
Gab,
the thing? No, the thing is,
Odyssey.
I want to tell you something real quick.
No.
First of all,
See, the problem is you're making it too hard. You're like, you
It's
go
not-
here,
it's-
you go here, you go here.
No. See,
I don't want to be going to 10 different places. Where's the next big place?
It's so easy. I made a tutorial video. Check out my tutorial video. If you have any device, you have a laptop, you have an iPhone or any device, a pad, whatever. All you need is a browser. Okay? In my browser, look at my browser, and all you have to do is press a fucking button. It's not that hard. As soon as you sign up for the website and you got the browser, you can go in different fucking places, and the world is your oyster. Okay? I made a quick video. Check out the video out there, Kendall Rican. It's a minute and something video. It's very easy. Either you can have the Brave browser or Chrome. Myself personally, I use CryptoTab, and CryptoTab they monetize you with. I've been using CryptoTab for like 10 months, so I got like 52 cents of Bitcoin. It's not much. It's not much. It's not about the money. It's about the convenience. So once you log in any website, see, like my CryptoTab. Listen, I got Odyssey, I got Rumble, I got MGTOW TV, I got who else? MGTOW TV, Odyssey.
Well, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Can you talk for 1 minute? Can you talk about MGTOW-TV? I go there a lot now. I was just watching a video today. I've seen multiple of your videos on that site as well. What's his name? Amr Mitvali, the creator guy.
Yeah.
You just sign up? Don't you gotta pay? Isn't it like what, $12 a year or something?
No. You can sign up. It's free. You can sign up. It's free, man. It's free. You don't have to pay. You don't have.
But how much does it cost to upload videos if you want to be a content creator?
Nothing.
Oh,
It don't
okay.
cost-
I'm sorry. I thought it cost like some money.
No, it don't cost nothing. It don't cost nothing. Anybody can put upload video out there. I mean, it just I think the requirement is that you have to once your videos become popular, then they boost it up. But no, anybody can put any shit, man. These people put all kinds of shit there that is irrelevant to MGTOW. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
But if you want to be a content creator, and I really not. See, I've been there so long, so I don't know. I need to talk to him because I know the guy. He's the one who invited me 2 years ago, and I went out there and signed up. But so far my understanding is, but I can go out there to talk to the fellas out there if they have to pay to upload video. But I really doubt it. I don't think you have to pay. The thing is that when it comes to the live stream, I'm still I need to talk to him regarding to the live stream, because I believe with the live stream, you do have to have some kind of membership or something like that. But you understand that this shit costs money. Having these what they call broadband and stuff. That shit costs money. It costs money. It really does, man. Like I say, man, nothing is free in life. Nothing is free. When I do the live stream of the podcast, I pay a membership for $13, which I don't mind it. And just like you were talking about earlier, I cut down the TV like Jesus Christ, maybe 10 years ago, 10 fucking years ago.
Sure,
And
sure. No, hold on. You pay $13 a year, $13 a month.
A month.
What are we talking?
a month, I pay 10. I pay 30. That's, I mean, think about it. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Well, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than cable, but that's $1 right there.
Yeah, but listen, this is and I'm talking about the site for Podbean. That's a membership that I can listen. If I want to get monetized, I can get my money back because they offer me if I want to there's some benefit to it, right? Because if I want to make my podcast, which I don't have time, I used to make a podcast out there. Let me tell you a quick story before I got to give shout out to the late night crew out there on podbean.com. So I was signed up with Anchor FM. Anchor FM is part of Spotify. And I got fucked as a content creator. I got fucked over $350. Really fucked. I promoted there on the I was doing the podcast like 3 times a week. And it was like 35,000 plays. And I know it's like each episode they would pay me like a few cents and stuff, but it add up to like the numbers are like 200. But anyways, it was 200 something dollars and shit like that. And when I tried to cash it out, I couldn't, and they refused to cash it out. I did the email shit and stuff like that. Gone with the wind, right? And that's because it was free. It was free. So now with this, with the Podbean, I can get, if I want to do a podcast, I can put commercials. I can go sign up out there, and they will figure out what type of genre that I'm at, and they can give me a few cents here and there. With the live stream, if people want to donate, I don't know what they call it, bean points, $1, shit. Like, I don't ask for anything because listen, man, to me it's not about the money, because the way I look at this thing, right? I can pay $13 for a live stream that I do, and I can say the most ridiculous, crazy shit, hate speech, all kinds of shit that I can come up with, right? That is happening in the world, you know, with the jab and stuff like that, whatever. And they won't ban me because they figured out, hey man, he's a member, it's freedom of speech, and they figured out it's capitalist. It's capitalist if you think about it. He's a member, he can say whatever he wants, and we're not gonna. Not only that, I can take the sound bite, or I can take the live stream, I can chop it up and make a video about it. I haven't done that yet because I don't have time. You know what I mean? So if you want to play, you have to pay. And life is nothing free.
No, I hear you. Yeah, you just said it yourself. If you want to play, you got to pay. You play to pay.
And you know, there's options out there for me, but it's never about the money. To me, I work. I was listening to your podcast here, and I'm like you. I'm not in debt. I don't own shit to nobody. You know what I mean? I don't own nothing to goddamn shit. Matter of fact, I invested in crypto. I got silver. Now my next move is about real estate. I'm about to get a real estate somewhere, somehow. You don't have
you're not paying child support anymore.
No, I'm not.
No mortgage, anything like that.
No mortgage or nothing. I'm saving my chips because you got to understand one thing with me. I'm not only a mech top, but I'm a libertarian and I'm a minimalistic. And when it comes down to minimalistic, I work hours that is going to make me happy. I don't want to be a slave to no one. So, matter of fact, it was 2 years ago. I was making like $18 an hour being a traffic controller and stuff like that, and doing that gig for 3 years. And I'm working with an element and stuff outside and cold and shit. I took a pay cut. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of cold. I'm tired of stuff. I was a single father. My son, who was grown and shit like that. And I say to myself, why should I be out there freezing my ass or burning my shit in the summertime? For what? For whom? For what? What the fuck? I'm gonna work indoors. So I took a big fucking pay cut from $18 to $13. So right now, I'm getting paid $14, and I work on with auto parts and auto parts accessories and stuff like that. And I'm happy. I'm cool with the job and shit like that. Sometimes the money don't make you happy, man. You got to find happiness within yourself, and whatever makes you happy, and you can capitalize with the money. That's what it's supposed to be.
All right. Yeah, I was just about to say, man, you should become a trucker, man, because fuck.
Oh
All
man,
right.
I'm a deli- right. Listen, I work in the gig that in this gig that I got. I want to give you a few more minutes out here because I got the brothers. Okay, so about to be 11 o'clock out here on the Pacific time, and out there in the Pot Bean live stream KDR, we got brothers from Australia, and they going through some crazy shit, and they call the show. But no, I cannot do in my current job that I do right now. I work in a counter, meaning I put computers. I mean, I put parts. I deal with customers. I do. It's sort of like O'Reilly stuff, but it's privately. It's small business owned. I do all kinds of shit. I deliver parts, meaning that I can drive and deliver parts to local businesses. I can put stuff
Sure.
in data. I can be a fucking trucker. Fuck no, I cannot be no fucking trucker, man. Especially living out here with this damn traffic. Fuck that shit. I'm
All
having a
right.
hard time. I'm having a hard time going from uptown to in a small medium city from uptown to downtown just to deliver part takes me like 25 minutes, and it's a small area that I live in that I work at. I live in uh, another city that I work at.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll leave it at that. Maybe I can. I was thinking of maybe ending my stream. Can I join your stream? Where are
Of
you going to
course,
be?
of course. Pot Bean, KDR Pot Bean, out there, and the good thing is that anyone who got a headset, all you got to do is just press a button. You don't have to do email nonsense bullshit. You press the button, and if it take me a little bit to get hit the button, it's just one of those things. But eventually everybody can go out there. All you need is a headset, and then it will ask you you want to call in the show, and there's all kinds of shit happening out there. Literally, I play sound bites from different articles, different shit. I kind of sort of prepare the live stream. It depends on how my day was and stuff like that. Tonight it's just pretty much a freestyle type of shit. But yeah, go check it out. It's out there, Podbean, KDR5, and
I'm sorry. Just if you could repeat what's the name of the website? So this is not YouTube.
it's not. No, it's not YouTube.
What's it called again?
Like pod bean.
POD.
Yeah, like podcast and bean as you eat fart. Bean.
Podbean. Okay.
Podbean. Yeah, and the channel is KDR5, meaning Kenda Rican MGTOW.
Okay. All right. Oh, do you want to do me a favor? I'm gonna let you go. Can you write that right before you leave? Can you write that in the stream?
I did it. It was there. I don't. Let me see. Let me see. See, the thing with this thing that you have here is it's kind of difficult for me because I don't go too much in this website that you got here. Let me see if I can write something. Let me see.
Okay. If you can, that's fine. If you can't, I totally understand. I understand that you have to keep a deadline with you and your boys. So I guess I'll let you go. But if you can, please do me a favor. Write it down, and I'll join. I have come to understand at this point that. Sorry, excuse me, boys. I've been drinking some beer. Oh, I've been understanding now. I have to migrate away from from YouTube. I mean, I like YouTube, but and I'll probably never leave YouTube entirely. But you know, I don't know. It just seems like there's more out there, and these alternative platforms, they're growing every month. So I don't know. I guess I'll leave it at that, everyone. It's been I don't know, over 3 hours. I think we're going on 4 hours. I thank everyone for calling in. Let's see. I'm going to go through the last like 20 or 30 comments just real quick. We got Kendall Rican. Hey, Successful Endeavors. He asked me to come on live stream. I'm a dirty Puerto Rican. And ¿dónde está la guagua? Okay, ¿dónde está la guagua el Kendall Rican? Successful Endeavors. Dougie was a psychic. I don't know who Dougie was. All right, men have 3 years service, women 2 in Israel because of vagina. I had a girlfriend from there once. Thing crazy. Okay. Cruise, veteran supposed. Blah, 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 blah. The 100 Rads still live. Kendall Rican, Successful Endeavors. Hook the link for the live stream at Podbeam. Again, I'll look it up. This Podbeam business. I have to start. I have to migrate away from YouTube because, well, frankly, I agree with you guys. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. We have to start branching out. I don't like the way things are going on YouTube, frankly. All right, Trini MGTOW, buy an old truck at first. They're near indestructible with a good engine. Yeah, of course, I agree. Couldn't agree more. You know, the nice thing about an old truck, you can treat it like an old truck. RJ, USA, turned weak, bro. Interesting times. Yeah, interesting times until you're fucking poor. Will Cruz, my coworker was watching that movie at work last night. By the way, that movie did not age well. LOL. Okay. MGTOW Maddie, had the first 2 chicks in a fighting corps in my recruit course. Brigadier came down to have tea with them just to make sure they were okay. A brigadier? You mean like a brigadier general? My father was in the Marine Corps. My father was in the United States Marine Corps. He was I think he ended up as a staff sergeant. But yeah, he was a brigadier general. MGTOW Maddie, they were stunning and everyone did all their work. Was sickening. Yeah, because they were stunning. They were hot little fucking bitches. You know, everyone wants to stick them. Kendall Rican, there is no money selling crack. If you want to sell drugs, meth and heroin is where the money's at. Okay. Kendall Rican, bringing it with the street knowledge. Will Cruz, like female cops, they're good for traffic duty. U.S., everybody needs to move out of Chicago. Man, I agree with you, bro. I got to move out of Chicago. I'm sick of Chicago, man. Sick of this. I'm sick of it. All right, Successful Endeavors. Ken, I'm not a wrench here. I can't link anything here. Well, you know what? I don't know how to fucking... I need to figure out how to make people wrenches. In fact, let me take a second how to do that. Block user, put user in timeout. No, wait, that's not going to work. Guests. No, more. Layout, private chat, broadcast info, settings, maybe. Settings. Audio, guests. Viewer, play a sound when sounds. I guess a band down. No, that's... I got to figure out how to... I want to put some of you guys as wrenches, but... Female cops, Kendall Rican. All right, guys, listen. I'm gonna end it here, man. I'm getting too drunk. I'm tired. So, all right, guys. I'll see you later. Okay, you guys take care. It's over, everyone. Thank you very much for coming in. It was a blast. I will talk to you guys again in 2 or 3 weeks. Peace out.